Travelers on the Omnibus occasionally touches on mature subject matter with mature language. As such, the audience discretion is advised. Welcome back to Travelers on the Omnibus.
That was 4 welcomes.
Welcome back. A field trip through nerd and pop culture.
He got it!
He did.
He got it! All this time, I finally got it.
Now we're going back to Cotter. Welcome back.
I am Ethan Skinner, everybody.
And I get like attention for being dated, and you're singing a
that is actually
song
it's
from
way past my time.
Welcome back, Carter. John Travolta's sitcom career.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Good for him.
See,
before Grease, yeah.
See, all this is going over my head.
Yeah. Playing like a 50-year-old high schooler.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've already said my name. Who are you wonderful gentlemen?
Do you want to pretend I'm you and you're me?
It's whatever the bitch you want to do.
Hi, I'm Brady Davis. Chippa-dog, bimba-dang.
I don't like that. I didn't expect for you to go there. Man, wow. You've wounded me, sir.
Shit. I just thought it'd be... Go Richton Runners. Was that the high school?
They were the Rebels.
Okay. I should have thought of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had the Mississippi State colors and the Ole Miss.
Oh my God, that's why it's
because we're
censored. Here's the things about like Mauritian. Number 1, Brady Davis. That's the list. There you go. That's it. That's all. That's all I got.
Fair enough. Nobody from Richmond is going to listen to this.
I've never been there, so I've only experienced you, and you're a cool human being.
You might have been there and just don't know.
Where is it located? What other cities?
Because there aren't any other cities.
Oh,
that's it.
No, I don't go out into the wilds.
20 minutes from Beaumont,
Texas.
No.
There's a Mississippi Beaumont.
I'm Jody Kite. Hi. How's it going?
I'm the real Brady Davis.
I'm the real James McCarthy.
Who is an asshole.
This is just a roller coaster of emotions.
No, it's just a drop.
I mean a bus ride.
It's
of
a
emotions.
tower of doom of emotions. It just keeps hitting the. It just keeps hitting the basement and keeps going. It just keeps going.
Oh, Jesus.
Where's he at?
Now that I've brought the mood down, do something to bring it back up, Ethan.
How have you been doing, guys? Let's.
That's not bringing the mood up.
That's not gonna help.
I don't know.
What is my normal mood? It's not good.
Something exciting might have happened.
I was hoping you were gonna show us a nipple or something, man. Like, what the hell?
Lord!
How would that help the people listening to us?
Well, you wouldn't know unless you tried.
Yeah.
Jody, how have you been doing?
I've been okay. I've been.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
If you're here tonight, this might be a bad idea.
True. I've done a couple of things this week. So when we were talking about stop motion a few episodes ago, I think it was a few episodes ago. I can't remember.
I believe it was 2 episodes ago.
Probably.
But my math is not
okay.
great.
A couple episodes.
Time has
ago.
no meaning.
If my math tracks,
we talked about stop motion, and Brady had mentioned Mad God. Which is by the animator that's done. What else did he do?
He was the dinosaur supervisor for Jurassic Park.
Right, that's right. And so I watched that fever dream of an animated feature film.
Yep.
And I told Brady earlier it was like watching a Tool video with no music.
Yep.
And that's pretty much
with more feces.
More feces, more meat.
Well, that's how you get the feces.
Yeah.
Well, you know, fetuses and blenders kind of stuff, really. Nuclear explosions, cool design on some of the characters, and yeah, I can't really, I'd like to spoil it for you, but I have no fucking clue what I watched. So, but I enjoyed it, though. I enjoyed the whole experience.
It sounds like my experience when we all watched Mandy. I didn't know what I watched. I just know I liked it.
Well, Mandy had story and a plot.
Yeah, Mandy does have a plot.
So,
Mad God pretends to have a plot and then laughs at you for thinking that it had a plot.
I watched a quote-unquote 42nd Street classic called Miss 45, which is a revenge thriller. where this lovely young lady gets something really terrible happens to her twice within 15 minutes, and then she goes on murdering every dude she comes across with a 45. It was hyper violent and very much what looks like a very heavily inspired Tarantino to do things kind of movie. So I won't get into any kind of like details on it, but it was good for what it was. One watch, and that's all I needed for that.
Quick drop in for those of you who don't know, 42nd Street was 42nd Street in New York City. The theater there is pretty much renowned as like the grindhouse theater in the United States. They would show like the grindhouse and ways. I wouldn't even put the quotes to it. Grindhouse classics, like some of the best of the grindhouse genre movies happened there.
Right.
I will say that you put that poster on your Facebook page. That was cool as shit.
Yeah,
I just like the look of that thing. It looked great.
They knew how to sell the movie for sure most of the time when they were doing those back in the day. But I would say like I like it more than I can only watch certain kinds of these kind of revenge thriller films when there's a femme fatale involved because of how gruesome they can get, like original Last House on the Left, and I Spit on Your Grave, which is a movie I saw once when I was like 20 and only saw it once because it was too gruesome.
I recall you telling about this movie.
Yeah, and so Miss 45, it does have a couple scenes, but they're not gratuitous. Thankfully, they're not over the top with it. So that's the one thing I could say, like, out of all those kind of movies, I liked it more.
With a lot of those kind of movies, there is a lurid thing where you kind of feel
like the best way I could put it without getting too insensitive would be violence against women. Really, to be honest with you, like that's pretty much what it is. And when they get any sort of detail in that, it's disgusting, and I can't fucking do it.
A good one to check out with that in that kind of genre that's kind of new is it's literally just called Revenge.
Okay, but
it's in that same vein,
gotcha.
But it's a female director and I believe a female writer. So it kind of flips everything. This is still about a woman getting revenge for horrible things done to her, but it flips a lot of things on its head, especially in the ending. I believe that one's on Shudder, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So check that one out.
I'll have to check that out. I also watched all the episodes of Backrooms, which is on YouTube, which is, I don't know if you've seen any of those, Brady. They are, Jay could probably be more astute about explaining what Backrooms really is.
Quick tagging?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so the Backrooms, it's probably the best piece of liminal space horror on the internet right now.
I literally just a couple of weeks ago, watched a video by Super Eye Patch Wolf, who talked about liminal spaces. And he mentioned Backrooms. Yeah,
Backrooms. The notion of it is, what if you, like, in reality, what if you could no clip out of reality? Where would you go? And you'd go to this place called the Backrooms. The first one got me. I think, is it up to like what? Like, is it like 9 or 10 videos now?
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, but specifically, and I cannot remember the name of
some of them are 20 minutes and some of them are like 2.
If you want a quick bite to kind of get through like the first like big clump of those videos, Wendigoon on YouTube did an amazing, I think almost like hour long, maybe even longer than that, just review of all those videos. It's fantastic. Like, it's really, I think like it's some of the best horror stuff going around today. Like print, in film, in internet, it is the best stuff.
Yeah, if you take out like the weird out of it, it's basically like the feeling you get when you see like an empty abandoned mall or a place like that. It's unsettling because it's a place that's made for people to be in it. So one of the videos I saw, and I cannot remember who made this one, showed a couple of pieces of art from Lego sets, but without the Lego sets in front of it. And it looked so weird because it's formed to the point of where that's where the pieces on display would go on the artwork, but they're not there. So like the whole entire like picture is distorted.
Okay.
In a lot of ways. Like even the Batcave one, like they took the Batcave out and there's just like, I mean, they took the actual, toy part out of the thing and there's just the cave and it's all warped and weird looking, very much like a liminal space kind of thing. And so I haven't played Fortnite all season because I've been taking a break from any battle royales because I'm not like really into them, but every once in a while I'll pick it up or whatever. And there is a week left right now. Actually, as this episode drops, it's already over and going to the next season. But there's 2 days left while we're recording this. And 5 days ago, I decided, let me see if I can get from level 1 to level 100 in 5 days. And 25 hours after I started playing, I unlocked Gwenum, which is the like
100.
Skin you get at level 100.
You did that in like 20. I have to ask this. 25 straight hours of play or just 25 hours?
25 hours over the course of 5 days.
Over the course of 5 days.
Yeah.
That's whew.
Yeah. Like the weekly challenges and everything. The thing about Fortnite is, as far as the challenges go, if you wait long enough, I wouldn't say wait till like the last week of the season, but if you wait till like the last 2 weeks of the season, a lot of challenges line up so you can like unlock experience points at the same time. For example, you'll have like one weekly that says like, kill X enemies with a shotgun. And then another one from another week will be do damage to enemies with a shotgun. So if you have like all those stacked on top of each other, like at least half of them that I did, like they all stacked. So I was able to knock a lot of them out and get a lot of XP at one time. So
Jody's pro tips: procrastinate, then grind. There you go.
Grind a lot.
Yeah. There you go.
Brady, how are you doing?
I mean, the weight of the world is slowly crushing me, but I mean, other than that, I'm okay.
You still got your job?
Was that metaphorical or are you Atlas?
In just 7 days, I can make you a man. Atlas.
Sure.
Rocky Horror.
It's been a very long time since I've watched Rocky Horror.
Hot patootie, bless my soul. I really love that rock and roll.
Meatloaf. It's what's for dinner.
Yeah, I would have picked that one up. I think maybe. Yeah, I haven't done too terribly much. Apparently, I've been mentioning every single episode for like the past 3 episodes, according to Michael, that I've been watching the Justice League cartoon. So I'm going to mention that again, just so Michael can put another tick on a sheet.
He's keeping count for some reason.
Do we need to sub that out as one of the cells for Brady Bingo?
I don't know.
Talking about watching the jail.
No, because I only have like 6 episodes left. Well, I'm gonna start Justice League Unlimited probably, but
yeah, okay, that's going on the card next time.
But there was one where they fought like a Cthulhu type thing, and the Cthulhu type thing was voiced by Rob Zombie. I thought that was interesting.
Was it the Dragula?
Yes, they burned in the witches and dig through the ditches. Yeah.
Did Superman slam in the back of it?
Yeah. No, it was Hawk Girl. I'm sorry.
Ah!
So yeah, I watched the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. It's pretty good. It's pretty solid. It's nothing like super great, but it's a Christmas special. Like they didn't do anything like they said. This is one of the things that you can get from James Gunn is like they said what it was, and that's what they didn't try to do a Marvel thing with it. It is a Christmas special, and it is mostly about Drax and Mantis kidnapping Kevin Bacon from Earth to give to Star-Lord as a Christmas present.
I love it.
Everything about this is perfect.
Yeah.
I need to steal my sister's Disney Plus.
It's pretty good. It's only like a 45-minute thing.
Okay.
Like they even did it like 45 minutes, so if you watched it on TV, it would be an hour special. So
Oh, okay.
Like, yeah. It's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, there's not much in it. Like it's just it's a Christmas special. Like they talk about the
heist of stealing Kevin Bacon.
Apparently, Cosmo the super dog is going to be in, and she's in there. It's a her in this one.
Isn't it
Maria Bakalova?
yeah, from
I believe
the second
that's
Borat.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, which is good because she's great.
Yes.
So yeah, that's good. Check that out if you have that. I don't think it's like required or anything because the only things that you need to know is like Cosmo is there. Spoiler: Mantis is Peter's sister, and they apparently bought Nowhere from the Collector. So
Like
I don't know.
Like the place.
Yeah, the
nowhere.
place nowhere.
Yeah.
That's the giant celestial's
Yeah,
head.
yeah.
Yeah. They apparently they got it for him cheap after.
Like I need
the,
Galactus right now.
Yeah.
I've been calling that at some point Galactus is going to show up.
yeah.
I just
Well,
don't know
yeah,
when.
they're
Definitely.
gearing up for the Fantastic Four and
Yeah.
the X-Men. It's
Yeah.
it's going to happen.
A lot of people would speculate that's why like not a whole lot's been going on with the phase.
I would speculate that's because they don't know where it's going.
I
right
mean,
now.
Yeah.
That's probably a good idea.
Again, like they have to put
For
X-Men into this.
For 3 phases, they had they had a clear thing that they were building to, a clear event, and they really don't know this time. I don't
Right.
think even though like we know Kang is the big bad, they really don't know what to do because Kang is a very complicated character, so they don't know how the hell to go with him.
Like in all seriousness, would the end of like the MCU be Galactus, or is there any like clear idea?
Well,
what
let
the end-
me just explain this.
You sweet
Let me
summer
explain
child
something.
thinking that the MCU is going to end.
Let me explain something to Ethan.
The MCU is going to collapse into a black hole. That's what's going to happen to the
When-
MCU.
No, the Earth is going to collapse in
Yes.
a black
Yeah,
hole,
yeah.
and right before it does,
Right.
Captain America 8
Yeah.
will appear in theaters.
Yeah. That happened in the comics already, so reboots, and like rewritings and multiple universes.
Yeah, Galactus has actually never been like the full end of anything because he eats a planet. Like he's gonna be there eventually, but like he's not going to be like the ending thing. I don't think.
I hope it's a personified Galactus and not like the
the
Death Cloud. Which real quick, the Death Cloud actually isn't necessarily from the Rise of the Silver Surfer movie. It's actually that was actually in the Ultimates universe, and that's what they chose to put on the screen. And I think that's where they started not having faith in the Ultimates line anymore because that did not translate on the big screen. It just didn't.
Right.
and it probably also with that it had to do with all the terrible events that they had in the Ultimates universe. But yeah, that's good. Check it out. You don't have to really know too much of stuff that's happened. It's just a fun little thing. You get to see, Drax and Mantis walking around LA. They go by Man's Chinese Theater, and people think that Drax is God of War. So
Oh, nice. Nice.
I have to imagine Dave Bautista had way too much fun with that.
Oh, I'm sure.
Both of them are having a ball, and I know that James Gunn said he did it like this because he felt like in the last movie they didn't get enough.
I would
time.
like a weird buddy comedy, not with Mantis and Drax, but with Dave Bautista and Palm Clemente. I just think that'd be just fucking amazing.
Yeah, they have good chemistry together. I really like them.
Yeah.
But yeah. Also, this past weekend, since since Gabe my son was off from school and everything, he was actually able to come. I haven't seen him in a while, so him and Lily got to spend the night. Gabe brought his girlfriend, so that was cool. And we played the horrified American Monsters.
Ah, okay, cool.
version.
Who were you fighting?
It was. I just did a 2 thing. It was the Banshee of the Badlands and the Mothman.
Okay, good.
It kind of worked out because we had been watching. My daughter had put on Gravity Falls, and we've been watching that.
Oh, yeah.
So it worked with that.
That's a great show.
It is a really good show. I think it went pretty well, but we ended up it got kind of late, and so I just kind of called it. We beat the Mothman. We didn't beat the Banshee of the Badlands, but like I think with 4 players, like the Banshee of the Badlands is like super annoying because everybody has this little token that moves up whenever she like attacks or anything like that, and you have to move everybody down to the first spot in that. And to do that, you have to go to her. You have to spend a certain color of items, and then roll the dice. And if you roll any symbol, then you get to move something back so many spaces. So it's really annoying with 4 people to try and move everything back because everything's moving forward.
Everyone has to do it individually, or is it like a combined?
Well,
pool
you
and
can
it's just a
choose
bigger pool?
whichever one, but yeah, it's on your turn. You go to her, you spend an action to move it, and you have to spend the item as well. So you have to balance getting items, and then you also have to balance. At 4 players, like the Banshee is very, very annoying because once you get to the end of the track, whoever's color that is that gets to the end of the track, they're automatically defeated. So that kind of takes you like it's really annoying. If you're playing with 4 players, I would say try not to use the Banshee because that can be it becomes it was tedious. Like I could see like the kind of future of it was just either we're going to sit here and fight her and fight her and fight her and to get her down, or we're going to or she's going to eventually like run us out of the monster deck, which is one of the ways that you lose. So I just was like, hey, we'll call it. So unfortunately I didn't get to finish the game, but you know, I think that they had a good time. So that's all I've been doing.
Jay,
Insomnia!
The video game?
No, the real life game where you can't fucking sleep.
I hate
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's one of those things that happens when you work late nights.
Yes, swing shifts can sometimes do that to you. Graveyards absolutely can do that to you.
Oh, yeah.
Or sometimes
Oh,
you just
yeah.
forget what you're wearing. We'll get to that in a little
I know
bit.
I worked almost 10 years,
Yeah.
7 years on night shift, and that
thing will wreck you, absolutely. So I visited with some friends from work, played a little Blades in the Dark with them. That was good. I got home at around 5. No, excuse me, I got home around 7. I got home later because I don't know that torrential downpour.
Oh, yeah.
North of 10. Holy shit!
Oh wow!
D'Iberville was just a sponge.
A bowl of water.
Yeah, it was taking it up. So I finally, I was going to leave at 5, instead I left at 7. So I got home a little bit later than I normally would have. And then I'm just laying in the bed and I'm like, uh-oh. My brain won't shut off. I know what this is. I've had insomnia at least as long as I can remember, and probably past that. And it always typically comes on when there's a change in weather and like rain or snow.
To tack something onto that, I was working last night, and we had one of our facilities guy come over and he's like, hey, what is it still raining out there, or has it lightened up? And I'm like, it's raining? And I look over at the little camera, and I was like, oh, the entire parking lot is just water. It's a lake at this point. It's a lake now.
Yeah, it's a parking lot / harbor. It's very good. It's wonderful. So it's like, okay, so it's like 10. It's now 11. It's now 12. I got to this point, and then I got a message from Ethan. Ethan will tell more about that in the future. So I'm just kind of burying the lead here. And I'm like, this isn't shutting off. It's like, I'll play a video. Wait a minute, because the other thing I've been doing is I cracked back open XCOM 2. If I had started playing that, I would recording time we are now, I would still be playing it. You wouldn't have got me off, because it's one of those games where I just sit there and I'm like 5 hours later. It's like I've lost 3 people. The earth is teetering on the brink, but I've got one sniper that can just like wipe out everything. And if I had done that, I wouldn't be here right now, because I'd still be playing it.
Yeah.
So insomnia. So if I'm even crazier than I usually am tonight, it's because of lack of sleep. Well, he's afraid because I have to drive him home.
Yeah, I wish I could give you any tips, but like nothing that I ever tried worked on me.
It's like a day or two, and then just boom, like cycle returns to normal. But
I have sporadic insomnia. I've had it since I was a child. Didn't know it was insomnia, because when you're a child and you can't sleep, there's especially in the prehistoric times.
I just chug a couple monsters and then I'm good. Until
you need to stop that. You had 3 last week.
I'll let you know. If I chug a couple of monsters, my heart's going to explode.
If it's any consolation, this is the only one I've drinking today. I'm holding up 1 can.
Okay.
Those are awful for you.
Yeah.
But they keep me awake somehow.
So does coffee, and it's still bad for you.
I don't.
I was about to say it's like which would you prefer? Crystal methamphetamine or just methamphetamine?
Or you can do like me and get the Java monster and do both at once.
See, there you
I don't like coffee because it has like a weird aftertaste to me. I don't like the aftertaste.
No, you have a child's palate. It's okay.
Yes, I know.
This is milk and sugar. It's not really technically
and
coffee.
I don't drink milk.
Yeah.
This doesn't
When
taste
I
like
worked
milk.
overnight, I had the problem of during the week, like when we would like meet up here and everything, like I would try and get to sleep at a decent, it's pretty close to when I got home. But then most of the time, like I wouldn't. So I would get no sleep during the week. And during the weekends, basically, whenever I would come home, I would almost immediately go to sleep and sleep like 10 hours. Like
it never fails.
Still feel like garbage.
When
like,
mine kicks in, it's always I've got to be at work in the next couple of hours, and I'm just like, I fucking hate this.
When I say weekends, I mean the literal weekend. I still had to work.
Right, right.
Like it's very weird for me because I work a graveyard shift, so I go in at 11 or 12, and I get off at 7 or 8 in the morning. I come home, I chill for a little bit, and then I go to sleep. Until today. I was laying on my couch and I got up for some reason. I had to put something in my bedroom, and I look at my bed, and at the foot of my bed are my glasses folded up. I'm like, that's funny. I haven't stepped foot in my bedroom all day today. Because
Hey, Ethan, what have you been doing?
gee, I wonder what.
You didn't even ask Jay if he was done, by the way.
I was, but it was
No, you were done. He said so. We're moving on. We don't want to hear your mental problems on this one.
Oh, he's not the only one with mental problems. And I think to myself, like, I don't.
We are all doing a podcast.
Hold on.
So fair enough.
I think we need to reestablish something. The boy found his glasses in a place that he wasn't supposed to find his glasses.
Because I don't recall ever stepping foot in my bedroom but getting home, and I don't recall taking my glasses off. So then I think to myself, did I drive to work without my glasses? And did I just work through the night without knowing I didn't have my glasses? So I texted Jay. I was like, hey, Jay, a weird but somewhat serious question.
Yep.
And this is without knowing his insomniatic self.
Hang on. I have the receipts. Hang on. No, this is
Can't
very,
wait for this.
we
You're
need-
Doc Brown, but you
we
don't
need-
make time machines.
All right, we need historical accuracy here. Okay.
Oh, as the kids say, we're leaking the DMs.
11 a.m. Ethan, weird question. Now, like, there's no period, there's no exclamation point, there's no question mark. What is this? I'm gonna assume it's a question. It's okay. And I go, fire away. Do you recall me wearing my glasses last night? Because I legit don't remember if I wore my glasses last night or not. Now, my brain is fucking addled. That was 11, 11:01, and 11:01. At 11:15, I write back, I thought you were. I could have sworn you were. I don't think anything. I don't know anything anymore. That was it. And I go, and my one-word response was sleep. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am exceptional at giving advice. I am shit at taking it.
It doesn't stop there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So
Jesus
that's
Christ.
where I leave the story.
And so I text Bianca, my wonderful girlfriend. I asked her, hey, I have a question for you. And she's like, what? Question mark. Do you remember me leaving the house with my glasses last night? And she responded in
More receipts. We got more receipts.
She responded to that with, did they not come home with you? Last I saw them before you left, they were on the couch by the door, so check there. If not, then I assume you wore them. That does not help me at all.
No, it doesn't.
And so I
That
don't.
kind of makes things worse, to be honest.
I don't fall asleep till 1 in the afternoon, having an existential crisis whether or not I wore my glasses.
Yeah, you're way too young to be having holes in your memory.
Yeah,
like,
dementia.
yeah, that's
Yes, early onset dementia at 21.
Yeah.
You had
Well,
to think a minute for how old you were.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm glad. I'm just.
the showing.
It makes
the
me feel a
signs
little
are showing.
bit. It makes me feel a little bit better that it's hitting you before it's fully hitting me. So that's good.
So yeah. Other than
Got that to look forward to. So
God is answering your prayers, Brady.
yes.
other than that, just playing some Pokemon with my friend James.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
You know, when Brady was mentioning the holiday special, you know what's available on Prime right now, Jay?
Garbage.
Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas.
Oh, that's not garbage. This is exceptional.
Ooh.
Yes. That's the good stuff.
pretty good stuff.
You should watch Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas.
You should.
Stop listening to this podcast right now. Pause it.
Okay.
Pause it.
What we're gonna do?
and
We're gonna wait a little bit, and then you guys can come back. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, and we're back. All right,
Yeah.
so that was
Did you
great
enjoy
times.
that? That was
Did you
good.
Enjoy Emmett
I hope
Otter's
you
Jug
loved
Band
it.
Christmas.
Did he get the Jug Band back
if you,
together?
If you did it, send your address to me, dox yourself, and I will come to your property, and I will just fill your yard with otters, and you'll learn to love them.
And if you didn't watch it, we'll know.
Yes.
And you can tell us.
We're MK Ultra.
That's for a different kind of podcast.
We're not gonna dose people. What are you talking about?
No, it's like we're gonna. I don't know what. Are you MK? Oh my God!
Brady
You've been MK
Davis
Ultra this
is MK
entire
Ultra.
time.
Yeah.
I'm not the one with insomnia,
What's
so
area?
maybe you're MK
What's Area
Ultra.
51 like?
That didn't have anything to do with MK Ultra.
How would you know unless you were an MK Ultra? Oh my God! Ignore that last part. Turn on your VPNs if you're listening to this podcast right now.
Yes.
Now all of our phones have heard MK Ultra multiple times. Thanks,
Put
Jay.
aluminum foil.
MK Ultra, MK Ultra, MK Ultra.
Put aluminum foil over all of your windows so that
Google
the,
search
the
MK
And
microwaves
this man
can't
works
get
for
through.
MK Ultra, so he knows what he's talking
Yes.
about.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
Hey Brady, question for you. Where can people listen to us?
Are you stroking?
possibly?
Why are you asking me? I don't fucking know.
I'm the one,
How long
I'm
have
the
you
one
been
that does that because I've memorized
Yeah, but
it.
he should at least know.
You know that I don't know shit about this podcast.
Okay, I won't acknowledge you, Jay. Where can they listen?
He doesn't
to
know
us?
shit about this podcast. He knows what happened in the Kennedy assassination because he's MK Ultra.
Damn.
I've heard him say where we can be found every week for like 30 plus episodes. I don't fucking remember.
It
Okay.
inside baseball, guys. Everything that happens in these
up now, it's gonna be
in
bad.
these completely leaves my mind when we stop recording.
Ladies and gentlemen, as always, thank you for being passengers on the omnibus with us. If you would have friends that you think they would make good passengers as well, please let them know and check out the following areas: Spotify, Apple, Google, and Anchor, aka Saga. That's how I remember things, is with memetics.
Yeah, I'm too lazy for that.
Jody, what else can they do to get in contact with us?
They can message us directly on Spotify, or they can go to Travelers on the Omnibus at gmail.com. 1L.
There you go. Because that's
Yeah.
actually how you spell travelers. I always thought it was two. In our initial document, it was like travel double L-ers on the omnibus. It's
We're
just like-
also on Twitter, but
Yeah.
it's not
Well,
Travelers
yeah.
on the
Yeah,
Omnibus.
no, it's Traveler Omnibus.
and then Instagram.
We're not paying $8 to be Twitter certified.
Nobody's paying $8 to be certified yet.
Yeah, that's going to come back in a much more
No, they
complicated
did for
way.
like 24 hours, and
Yeah.
then Eli Lilly's stock blew up.
Yeah.
And then it's like, nope, we're stopping this.
It's like Magic the Gathering selling proxies.
That's another.
But hey,
topic
we're
for
on
another
the
day.
same. we're
Hold on. Selling proxies for $1,000.
Yeah. They
Do you have a good LaserJet printer? Print you up 20 Black Lotuses.
Yeah.
Don't try to sell them. That would be fraud. But just print 20 of them.
Yeah.
You've saved yourself $1,000.
they only sold 20% before the item was marked unavailable on the website.
Or out of
So that
stock.
means they sold out.
Oh
Cool.
yeah,
That's how that
100%
works.
Yeah, absolutely.
sold out.
That's how that works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jay, do we have any passenger feedback?
Yes, we
Yeah.
do.
What
We have
did Kevin
passenger-
send to us this
I-
week?
I am
Funny you
excited.
mentioned that.
I am excited.
It's funny you mentioned that, but yes, we have passenger feedback. It's from Brady's biggest fan, Kevin Gallo.
Yes,
It's
yes.
great. So, ladies and gentlemen,
Let me bask in the adulation of
there you go.
Kevin.
All right, there you go. Lean back, get yourself a nice porter.
Wait,
and
hang
just-
on. Let me get my second monster.
Yeah, I am.
Well, you're going to the next kidney killer. Good job.
Jesus
okay.
Christ.
So, again, our friend Kevin Gallo, a.k.a. Ronan Roosta on Twitch and Kevin Gallo on YouTube, had the following. I've abridged one part out because that one I want for a bigger discussion if we ever have him in person, if we ever get around to that. So, Kevin, one of your major concerns is not going to be mentioned here, but it's because I would like to speak with you in person on it. But here you go. Response to feedback. Amingo is the cactus from Marvel vs. Capcom 2. So,
When did we ask that question? Because I don't even remember
I think
that.
one of us during the fighting game episode, like there was a cactus and we couldn't remember the name of it, and so it's like,
I remember it.
I'm very well. You remember that, but you don't remember if you had your glasses today. I'm in
There's a lot of stuff
I'm in full on mode right here. Here we go. Brady saying Smash isn't a fighting game is more offensive than saying fighting games are party games. I totally get enjoying the game with most with friends, but Smash fits as a fighting game. Responses, gentlemen.
I mean, it fits, but it is first and foremost a party game. Like
that's what it was made for. I'm not saying that you can't.
People who play it
it turned into an esport later, but when the game first came out, it was a party game.
As a quote unquote fighting game. It is played in the most boring version. The absolute that is the most boring version of that. The whole point of it. So there have been several times where I have gone to different things where I've spent the night. I think it was like a church thing. I can't remember. Who the fuck cares? But I brought my my GameCube, okay, and I brought Smash, and we just played the ever living shit out of Smash on whatever it was. This was Melee on whatever map we wanted with all the items, so all the chaotic stuff. We didn't care who the fuck won. It was just fun,
right?
And you've tried to make this into counting frames and all this other stuff that happens when you get super deep into fighting games, and it just doesn't even look that fun to me when I watch people play
competitive esports didn't
play
exist
one-on-one
came out
with
on
no items
GameCube.
On a flat thing like
Smash Brothers.
I'm sorry, that to me is the you've sucked half the game out of it, and you've made it as boring as you possibly could. But if you like it, fine. If you want to play it like that, that's fine. I don't ever want to play that game like that because to me it just looks so boring and not fun. Give me as many people on a map as we can, being chaotic with all this shit flying around.
What I'm hearing is you want 16 player Smash.
I want to hit somebody with a goddamn Pokeball and have Snorlax come from the top and knock everybody out. That's what the fuck I want.
There you go.
That's an amazing dream.
I want to hit the goddamn hammer and hear the fucking sound go off and everybody run away because they know that they're going to immediately get thrown off the map.
Or the satisfaction of using the home run bat.
Yeah. Hear that
clang, and just done.
When you perfectly hit that.
You just
that's
see them
what I want.
Fly off the map.
Original Smash Brothers, I was playing with my buddy Ian, and he hit me with the home run bat when I was at 0% Donkey Kong, and I survived it.
Oh, wow.
And then when I came, it's like, he's unkillable! And yeah. So yeah. I'll just say this, just maybe partially maybe to be devil's advocate or maybe be a bridge into. I appreciate the fact that this game can be played both ways. There is something.
That's fine.
There's something to be said where I feel some people get more fun out of it refining a set of skills down to an art and then going at it in a professional way. So I can appreciate that.
I think it evolved that way too, though. That's not the original.
I would say, for instance, Super Mario Brothers started out as a fun 2D platformer, and then when speedrunners got into it, they turned it into a torture device for themselves. Because if you watch these people, they have to. It's gotten so optimized the speed running in Super Mario Brothers that if you miss a tenth of a second, you have to scrap the run and start it back over.
Oh yeah,
I think that kind of fits, but speedrunning is much more niche than a fighting compared to
agreed. But again, there's a level of respect that I have for people kind of focusing down and getting these skills to a point to where they can compare them to other people, whether it's better times in speedrunning or if it's in a fighting game when you're actually
it's just annoying where there's this superiority of we don't play with items. We only play on the whatever they call the final destination.
Or when people ban certain characters to play with.
You cannot play with this character because he's not properly balanced. It's fucking Smash Brothers. You are Donkey Kong beating the shit out of Kirby. Get off your fucking high horse.
With the number of characters now, not just Smash, but in all fighting games, you will never have perfect balance.
I will add one final thing. As much as I love playing with items, stage hazards with my siblings, my close friends, coming up here to the shop and playing with Cameron and Austin, shout out to y'all, just seeing their face when I choose Banjo and Kazooie, I like the feeling of seeing them scared.
Yeah, because they don't play it a lot. Because again, you get into the ideas of tech and meta, and what is optimal to play. Again, for some, absolutely abhorrent to see Brady Davis. For some people, it's the juice that keeps them going in the game.
Now, I will
See,
mention
Kevin.
the guys you just said, just talked about Cameron, Alston, and all them. There's been a couple times where we just all thrown up all the items and all played Mr. Game & Watch and had a good fun time with
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Game & Watch.
Well, that's
You
the whole
just-
thing that they created called
one format.
Yeah, one format.
Any character and a high drop rate of Pokeball and Master Ball.
Yeah, you just throw them just everywhere.
And whoever's just level on the platform picking up the balls, they're most likely winning.
See, to me, that's a happy medium between the fighting competitive and the party fighting. Is just you have people who are like, okay, we're gonna do it this way and just see how it works, but it's in a thing that is way more loose than you have in the other.
The fun of Smash Brothers is trying different things. They have, I remember in Melee, I played the other ones, the later ones, but I haven't played them quite as much as I did with Melee. But trying different things. Okay, this is one where let's change it. They have different presets, but then you could fiddle with a whole bunch of here's the one where everybody's moving super fast. So let's play this and everybody's running off the side and we're trying to figure that out. This is the one where everybody has this is different. I can't remember all the things. That's just the one that sticks out to me.
The one on the Wii had a create a map thing you could do.
Yeah,
where you can make your own stage.
That's been in several. I
Has
know
it?
the Wii U one had it. I think
Smash,
the 3DS
but with
one,
treadmills.
Yeah, it's just to me,
that one's
it's
crazy.
It's just annoying the way that some people treat the game now. And it's damn, you're missing out on 3/4 of the fucking game because you only want to play it in this one specific way. And that's the difference, I think, between when you compare Smash Brothers to say Tekken. I don't know, because there's really
Tekken's a bad one for me because Tekken has actually had party game modes.
Yeah,
they had the volleyball.
I will say
I would
that.
say more so Soul Calibur,
or
or any of the Street Fighters.
The just regular versus mode in those, but even with Tekken, the regular versus mode in those games is the main draw. Because
that's arguably the most technical fighting game in the world.
Yeah, but I don't know. Whatever. If you want to play it like that, but I think that you are missing out on things.
Yeah.
Until Ethan Killer Instinct is available on PC and has amazing netcode. I will say this: if you're playing it for party or for fighting or however you want to do it, if a game's netcode is shit and you're playing it online, it's a fucking ender. So, and especially in fighting game stuff, I definitely go there because, as we know, latency helps make it more fun when there's less of it.
Yeah.
Just saying. And obviously, accept all challenges for JMOS. I'll also be willing to run a fighting game episode with you guys. We might do that in the future. It's not a guarantee, but we're definitely putting that in.
It's on the back burner. It's on the burner.
We're putting that in the document. Let me just put it right there. And then finally, I'm glad I've become the expected email guy. Lol. So yeah. So once again, Kevin Gallo, thank you. For your passenger feedback. Again, as always, if you'd like to leave passenger feedback, travelers on the omnibus 1L at gmail.com.
Yeah. Clay Fighter, let's go. Virtual Fighter, let's go. Both those games.
Alien Challenge.
I think I'm over Alien Challenge, to be honest with you.
Steve Areno versus
Tattoo
Leonardo
Fighter.
from TMNT Tournament Fighter.
Street Fighter, the movie, the game.
That's on there.
Yeah, that's a garbage one too.
It's really terrible. Yeah. It's awful.
Mortal Kombat versus DC.
The fighting I didn't mind in that so much. It's just if you're going to have a Mortal Kombat game, kill people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, Primal Rage. Again, another game that's molasses.
If you're going to have primals in a game raging, make it Primal Rage instead of I have to hit this specific 3-button combo while holding one button down.
Yeah.
And then making full-on semicircles and that. We're getting too far afield. Let's get on to
Are we
our
talking
main
about
topic.
Warzone by Acclaim?
Let's get on to our main topic.
Okay.
Let's get on to our main topic.
So going into tonight's main topic, this is episode 35, I believe, if my math is correct.
It is episode 35. However,
Yes.
your mental acuity is now in question, Mr. Where Are My
Yeah,
Glasses?
we have to double check
Yeah.
you.
That's
from
supposed to be
now
me
on.
and Brady guessing what fucking episode we're on.
Yeah.
And so last week we were talking about the next Chalkboard could possibly be a top 5 worst, and a little behind the curtains. We like to discuss on what the next idea would be.
Guys, we don't just make this stuff up
The
right
day
before
of.
we do this.
And one of the things that someone said was I think it was me that said like overrated, like top 5 overrated actors or something along those lines.
Overrated movies.
Yeah. Overrated movies, yes. And something clicked in my brain. I was like, wait, the movies they're talking about, I've never seen before. And so I threw out, wait, guys, what if we do top 5 movies I need to watch?
I like how he's really building up that this was his idea. This is great.
Give the boy his laurels. Like, we were kind of debating that, and then he kind of just hit with some lightning bolts. So I'm okay with that in this one regard.
And so
we'll give this one to you.
Yeah.
And we all just kind of like went back and forth on how we would do this, and we're like, okay, it's official, we're doing this. So this week's top 5 movies Ethan needs to watch.
Yep.
Indeed.
So
also because we figured out a way to just lazily get the next episode out of the way too. The number 1 on this list we will be watching and we will be reviewing next week on this very podcast.
So the premise of how this is going to work, I'm going to allow the other 3 to...
Wait, what?
Yeah, see? You give him an inch, and he takes a fucking mile.
Going to allow us. Motherfucker, I have the soundboard here. Jody's closer to it. Brady has longer arms than you. He's closer to it.
I'm going to let them give their list first. No.
Nope. No, that's their... No, that was going to be their promo. Now we got to do the whole promo again.
They're going to give their list first, and I'm going to give mine. And when we start debating, any movie on their list that I've already seen are automatically shot.
It's a chain gun of magic bullets.
Yes.
I'm taking a Tommy gun.
We have loaded up a Tommy gun. with
After
nuclear
all of them
bullets.
have been put up on the board.
after all the lists.
Yes.
Yeah, that way when Brady's entire list, he just claims he's watched, so he can just destroy Brady's list. We get around that.
We're going to have to ask you some questions if you think you've seen some of the things we're
Pop
putting up
quiz,
here.
hot shot. What movie is that from?
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, there we go.
And instead of a bullet...
Trick question. That's
Because-
from a TV show. I don't know.
And instead of me...
Speed, motherfucker, speed.
I know. Fuck you.
Instead of me giving a bullet to someone, I will give a golden ticket or a golden parachute or wherever it's going to be to one of these fine gentlemen that they're going to automatically put in the running of the top 5.
This is from the producer of Travelers on the Omnibus. We're going to call it the golden ticket.
The golden ticket, yes.
Because we want to be sued for Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, fucking Grandpa, what's his name, is going to come down here and fuck us up.
Grandpa asshole.
Grandpa
Yeah.
Joe.
Grandpa Joe,
asshole.
Yeah. It's been a little while since I've watched.
I got a golden ticket.
I've been laying in bed
I'm
for 20
bedridden.
years.
Yeah, that man had no muscle atrophy whatsoever.
Yeah, yeah. Also, Willy Wonka definitely knew that some of those kids were going to die because there weren't seats for extra children.
Yes.
When he got to certain parts.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get this out of the way. I'm going to go with Jody first.
Oh, okay.
Jody, you're up.
All right. Let me just bring up my notes. All right. So most of these, if not all, are movies I like. Not necessarily just movies that I think you should see, but you should definitely see them because I think they're amazing.
Okay.
All right.
Fair enough.
Number 5, Reanimator. So that is Stuart Gordon horror comedy, I think, with it's got a lot of fun stuff in it, and you should be exposed to more horror as well as anything else. So hear me out on my next pick. Number 4 is a Brian De Palma film known as Phantom of the Paradise.
I was waiting for it to be 1, but okay.
You should be exposed to more rock and roll horror themed musicals.
Okay.
How many of those are there?
There's more than you think.
Jesus Christ.
I'm already excited. Okay.
Yeah.
Put it on Jody bingo that he puts.
He mentions Phantom of the
Whenever we
Opera.
talk about,
I have to make that
whenever
a
we
sell
give a
on Phantom-
loose
yes.
a list of movies.
Yes.
Phantom
Give me
of
a
the Paradise.
shot. I'll
Yes.
put it in there.
Yes. I got him. We get that's going in the show notes. We're done. All right, good.
Number 3 is going to be the biggest swerve on this list.
Ooh.
Ralph Bakshi's American Pop.
Oh, okay. That's the one Ralph Bakshi I didn't get to watch because it wasn't on YouTube.
It's really good. American Pop. I'll actually go into that for a little bit here. American Bop. American Pop is a story told through generations, so of one family, with animation and music, and it's really awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't say Ralph Bakshi's Coonskin.
No.
I'm sad that you didn't say Ralph Bakshi's Wizards, but
Don't
Heavy traffic.
I have
go
no
in,
comment.
go into incognito mode if you
get
look
on
that up.
Bianca's cell phone and look up Coonskin.
Yeah.
The next one is Lucio Fulci's The Beyond, a zombie film from 1980, Italian zombie film, and probably one of Fulci's best zombie films. After all, he did make about 20 of those. And then number one is Peter Jackson's second film, Dead Alive.
Okay.
Which is another zombie film, but probably one of the funniest and also goriest horror comedies of all time.
Interesting use of a lawnmower in that one.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you watch that and you're like, how the fuck did this guy get Lord of the Rings? What the fuck?
That lawnmower scene took 3 weeks of shooting.
Jesus Christ.
Main guy was sticky for a while with Cairo syrup all over him.
Red food coloring Cairo syrups. Yes. All right.
Okay. Jay, you're already standing. Let's go with you.
Okay. You handle the pen. I have my mic up. Watch that wire, or Holder's going to kill all of us. All right. For me, I went with a genre approach to this. I was thinking of what are some of my favorite films in a genre. They may not be my favorite of that genre, but I think they're indicative of some of the best in the genre. So my number 5, it's a mad, 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 mad world. This is an ensemble comedy. To me, it is the pinnacle of ensemble comedies. It is timeless in the fact that it is physical slapstick. It is timing humor. It's every little bit of everything you could. At the time, it was every great comedy legend that had ever been on screen was in this movie. Watch the edited version. It's much like Stephen King. There's some unedited versions that go almost 5 fucking hours.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
5 hours of comedy is...
Yeah, no comedy should be
The
that
edited
long.
version is
Even-
2.5 hours long.
But it's unique enough
It
with the
is.
stuff that's going on that you don't
It is.
feel it. But after 3 hours, you feel everything. You just would be. So yeah. So that is my number 5. My number 4 is my horror choice. It is Night of the Creeps. Night of the Creeps is a send up. It was in the mid 80s. Was send up to all kinds of genres of horror, alien invasion, zombie, Final Girl. Kind of there is a little bit of Final Girl in there. It's horror, but it's not too horrific. But there's still some kind of just gross, gnarly things like a wall of parasites that eat your brain. I'll just leave it at that. My number 3. This is my action movie. This is Die Hard. If you've never seen Die Hard, you need to see Die Hard because it all at once. It is the best action movie and it is the best Christmas movie all at the same time. It is fantastic. My number 2, and I'm actually gonna get a little bit of serious now on this one. I'm gonna say the whole title. All you need to do is put down the first 2 words. This is my documentary choice. This, in my opinion, is the best documentary that has ever been made. It is Dear Zachary, a letter to a son about his father. I'm going to stop there. I have this rule with documentaries because of how they present things. I think everybody should go in as blind as you can with a documentary. I will say that this is one of the most poignant stories that I've ever seen told in any medium, print, film, television, internet, however it's done. This was, I know this. This was a labor of love that is to watch is both part labor and part love. To this day, it's my favorite documentary of all time, and I think everybody needs to see this. My number 1 movie. This is coming of age drama. It is the best of its genre, in my opinion. The lead actor in this is his finest performance ever. Even though Good Will Hunting he won the Oscar for, this is the one he should have also won an Oscar for. This is Dead Poets Society. Dead Poets Society stars Robin Williams, a young Ethan Hawke, and a number of fantastic younger actor men. This is a coming-of-age story at a men's boarding school for the rich and the elite, and they have a teacher that kind of shows them that instead of this kind of rutiform, this is how you learn this, we go page by page. No, tear the pages out. Let's experience the art. Let's experience love. Let's experience the world. This is, in my opinion, Robin Williams' finest performances. And Yeah, like if you have never seen this, you really need to, because I think it's just absolutely tremendous. Like, it's in my top 5 all-time list as far as movies go. But yeah, that is my list.
I dig it. Brady, let's go with you.
Oh, it's me. Hey. So yeah, this was actually kind of a difficult list. I took the approach with a couple of different things. One, I started out with just like, what are movies that I'm going to recommend to a person? Like, what are some things that I would recommend? And then I tried to like tailor them a little bit more to Ethan. And I also tried to figure out, even though we joke that Ethan has only seen like 10 movies, he could surprise me. So I tried to pick things that were maybe less obvious, maybe. But there is like one big, very obvious one on my list, because I do have to be a pretentious cinephile as well. I have to keep up my image. So yeah, this was actually like, I really like waffle back and forth on some of these, and I'll mention that when I go through them. So I kind of took a genre approach as well, but I went with some different genres. So for some reason, like in my core, I was like, there needs to be a Western on here. I want to experience a Western, but sometimes these can be a little bit harder to get into. So, you know, I thought about maybe, you know, shying away from the older Westerns to something a little bit more new. You know, 310 to Yuma came to mind, the newer version of it. That's not it on there. But then it hit me like, what about what has been termed as a neo-Western, a thing that is not old cowboys and stuff like this, but it takes a lot of like the ideas of that genre and puts them in a new thing. So my number 5 is a movie called Hell or High Water. So this is about two brothers played by Chris Pine and Ben Foster, who go on a spree of robbing banks to try and get enough money to pay off the loan on their house, on their property, because they found oil there, and they were kind of screwed over by the banks, by a specific bank. So they're basically robbing those banks to get money to pay that off. And in the meantime, Jeff Bridges plays he's a marshal, I believe. I think so. He's like a marshal or a Texas Ranger or something, and he's trying to stop them. It's very, very good performances. Like Chris Pine is like a very, like, he knows he needs to do this, but he's not but he's very reserved about this, and he's kind of like, man, you know. And Ben Foster plays like the wild brother. Like he goes off at the drop of a hat. He's very what's the word? He's very I don't know. He fucking I guess put it on the bingo that I miss words. But you need to hurry up and get dementia quicker than me so that I feel better about this.
Y'all both need to hurry the fuck up with it, because I'm like already there.
Yeah. He flies off the handle, and he's very, very, like, you know, easy to anger and stuff like that. Yeah, things like that. So, but it's a very, very good movie. It's very tense. You know, the relationship between the two brothers is very interesting, because they are a little bit estranged. But I don't want to say anything more about that. So number 4, I wanted to put a comedy, because I don't want all of these to be kind of, you know, sad or serious movies, because I think comedies are important. So I was trying to figure out, you know, what are some things that I think that Ethan hasn't seen, and it really came down to really two comedies: Young Frankenstein and my actual pick, which is The Big Lebowski. This is a hilarious movie, and it shoots a couple of things. It's a Coen Brothers movie, who I think the Coen Brothers are one of the best directors out there. Almost every single one of their movies is so good, and I think this is one of their more accessible movies. This is one of their. It's really hard to say if it's a better movie, but it's a really, really good movie. And it's also, there's a little bit of noir in there, and I think that's also important. It's a there is elements of a neo noir in there, and I think that's also a good genre to get in there. So there's that one. Number 3, I thought we need an animated movie in here. We need that. So, and I shied away from like Disney movies and things like that because those are very common. You've seen them or know of them. I thought about maybe going to something that's American but outside of Disney, but I ended up falling on like anime movies. And the one that I fell on was a Studio Ghibli, technically a Studio Ghibli movie. It's considered that now. Hayao Miyazaki's first movie, Nausicaa, the Valley of the Wind. This is my favorite one of Miyazaki's movies. I probably could have gone with like Spirited Away, but it's something I shied away from that one because I thought maybe there is a chance that Ethan has seen that one. I don't know, but Nausicaa, the Valley of the Wind is one that's less seen than the other ones like Spirited Away or Princess Mononoke. But it hits all of those things, and it's a very hopeful movie, like a lot of Miyazaki's movies. But it's gorgeous. The character work is very good. So that leads to the number 2. I wanted a foreign movie on here. I could have gone, some obscure fucking French or Italian movie. I didn't do that. I landed on Asian. Now, part of me thought, mistakenly, I guess, that Jody was going to put something from possibly Kurosawa on there.
I thought about it.
But, so I went with Korean cinema. Now, for me with Korean cinema, it's between 2 people. It's Park Chan-wook or Bong Joon-ho. I went with Bong Joon-ho because I think his movies are a little bit more accessible. And the one of his that I picked is Memories of Murder. This is kind of a detective-ish crime movie that was based on a series of real murders that happened in Korea. The characters are they're very endearing. It's just a great, like, the character work is great. There's so much tension in the movie. The last like sequence of the movie and the last real shot of the movie is so arresting. Like your heart is racing at the end, and it's not really even that much that's happening. It's just like the kind of callback that the last one. It's hard to explain, but it is such a good movie. And the last one I picked a pretty obvious choice. For some reason, this one stuck out to me. I think that everybody should watch some of the classic movies, but some of the classic movies can be kind of hard to watch. They're slower. I know that and a lot of mine was tuned to. I know the fact that Ethan is younger and he has had some problems with slower movies. So I took that into account. But my last one is Casablanca. This it has been in the cultural ether for forever. Everybody knows like so many like pieces of the movie. You will watch this movie and be like, oh, I know that line. Oh, I know that line. Oh, I know. And it's just over and over and over. But while there isn't like a whole lot of action in the movie, like the character work is again phenomenal. The one-liners are great, like the guy telling Rick, the main character, that you must hate me, and he's like, well, I have to care about you to actually hate you, like. So, and I'm paraphrasing that. It's been a little while since I've watched the movie, but like, this is, I think, a classic movie. It's not like Lawrence of Arabia where it's like 3 hours long, so it's not like overly, it keeps your attention. The character work is great. The everything about this is just a phenomenal movie. Some people have called it, it's kind of, some people might believe that it's a little bit overrated or whatever. I do not think that. I think that it is very watchable. And it's a great story with some of the most iconic shots and lines of all cinema. So that's my list.
Alrighty.
Solid.
I want to drop this real quick. The new 310 to Yuma was almost on my list. I would say it's like my number 6.
I thought about Tombstone.
I thought about Tombstone
for the same reasoning that you put Hell or High Water. That was the reason for me. And also Ben Foster is completely underrated.
Ben Foster is he's one of those guys where if I see he's in a movie, I'm like, okay, I'm immediately interested in that movie.
The horror movie Pandorum, the sci-fi horror movie Pandorum, I like it solely because of the performance of Ben Foster.
Yeah, I believe that.
He's really good in Leave No Trace. That's an excellent movie of his.
However, in the Warcraft movie, no. Okay, I'm gonna leave it
That'll
on that.
be anybody in the Warcraft movie.
Yeah, that's a low bar. So yeah.
I'm just saying I'm excited for this discussion after my list.
Okay.
So the majority of my list is pretty much whenever like people like reference a movie or something like that, is like I know the reference. It's just from a movie that I know of and I've never seen. So like the top 4 movies are. They could be in any order, but it's like my number 1 is like one that I've always wanted to see. So
Okay, so 2 through 5 could be 5 on it, depending on the day. But
no, just break the whole entire format of the. That's cool. Sure, fine, whatever.
So number 5 is Alien.
Oh.
I've never seen Alien. I know the clip, like the infamous clip of the xenomorph popping out of the guy's chest. And it was skedaddling away.
Fast fact: none of the actors knew that was happening.
That I did know. But it's like, again, it's many references. Is an iconic creature, the xenomorph, in a lot of like media and pop culture. Is I know of it. I've never seen the movies.
I also want to step it. They knew that was going to happen.
They knew there was something was going to happen.
They knew that the thing was going to pop out. They did not know that all of the blood and everything was just going to squirt everywhere and it was going to be that messy. Yeah. That's why the reaction when the girl gets hit on her face with it, like she actually like jumps and everything because she did not know that particular thing was going to happen.
Number 4 is The Fifth Element.
Oh.
Whenever people say like, oh, it's they reference the movie, I'm like, what? Yeah. They say, oh, it's from The Fifth Element. Never seen it. No, you need to see it. I was like, It's one that I've never really heard of, but because of people talking about it and referencing it, it's like it piques my interest.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Number 3 is 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Oh, that's interesting.
Again, just references to the movie. There was a game that came out that referenced it. It was like, oh, that's neat. I've never heard of that movie. I think Matthew McConaughey's in the movie. I think I don't know.
Are we talking about Interstellar?
No,
We're talking about Interstellar.
No. Is it
okay?
Hail 9000.
Okay. I will be honest. Like 2001: A Space Odyssey is one of those movies / whatever pieces of art that breaks the art after any art after it, because everything starts taking from that. It's like that, Lord of the Rings, Bob Marley, like all of these things broke that genre.
Yeah, 2001 came out in 1968-ish, I think. So
yeah,
65 actually.
Oh, okay.
The story is whatever, but like the effects of that movie are top notch.
Yeah.
And it's simple stuff. It's some of it's like super simple, but like just the effects work is so good. Yeah. But yeah, like you will see references like
1968, Jay.
Everything kind of apes that a little bit, at least after it comes out. Like it kind of breaks the sci-fi genre, and anything that happens in space, pieces of that come in whether people mean to or not. So
and in like highbrow movies and in lower-brow movies. Yeah, like it changed a lot.
Yeah, it changes the entire thing.
My number 2 is Uncut Gems.
This almost like I was waffling back and forth between this and another one of the Safdie brothers movies, Good Time, and I was going to land on this, but I chose not to put this one in. That almost, yeah.
This is one of those movies that people kind of weren't expecting. From what I know, it's like people were expecting, oh, it's just another Adam Sandler comedy movies. From what I'm told, it's not. And there's a lot of stuff that looks good. I'm told that it has a really appealing like plot, and the way Adam Sandler takes on a more serious role
It proves that Adam Sandler can actually be an actor.
It's a movie that I'm kind of excited for if I ever get the chance to watch it.
Yes. Okay.
Possibly next episode, maybe.
Okay.
And my number one, I've always had anytime I'm in a car ride with Jay, I always like talk about movies that he wants to recommend me or something like that. And every single time, I always mention I want to watch Pulp Fiction.
Oh, okay.
It is a movie that of my list is probably the movie that I hear references the most about. Samuel L. Jackson, John Travolta. I always think of the Big Kahuna Burger clip.
Yeah.
And
okay.
It's just something that I've always wanted to watch because I've heard it the most times being referenced.
Okay. Which is funny because I put down like on my, I say short list, but this is like
you have 30 things on there.
This is like 30 things.
There's more
he
than
has an
30.
There's like
entire
60 things
page
on here.
filled out.
Yeah, it's an entire page of shit. I put down Jackie Brown for my Tarantino film in my short list. So that's interesting.
But yeah, these are the lists.
Yeah.
Alien was also on my short list as well. But I wanted to go with more accessible horror, which is what I thought Night of the Creeps.
Do we have
was.
zero crossover?
No, there's not a single crossover
There's not
on
a
this
single
list.
crossover.
All right.
I did specifically.
Chain gun has been handed. What have you seen on this list?
There is one movie on this list, on these lists that I have seen, and that is Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind.
Oh, okay.
We shoot you out of love because everyone here has seen you.
Okay.
It was one of the first Studio Ghibli movies that my brother introduced me.
Oh, okay.
Because he's
That's interesting because that's not usually how that goes.
He's a really big Studio Ghibli fan, and through him, staying with my grandparents.
Had you watched like Spirited Away?
Spirited Away, Howl's Moving Castle, Princess Mononoke.
Okay. So any of those that I put on there would have. Okay.
Castle in the Sky.
Castle in the Sky.
Porco Rosso.
No, but I have seen Tom Poco.
Okay. That wasn't Miyazaki, but that is a Ghibli movie. That's the one where the raccoons
The Tanukis.
they bounce on their giant testicles.
Yes.
And descend from the sky.
Yeah.
So,
Grave of the Fireflies.
Yeah, I didn't put Grave of the Fireflies
because
because
one I have not seen.
I haven't watched it because I don't want to feel that sad. Like that's one that I've had to I keep trying to prepare myself to watch, and I just haven't gotten around to it. Okay, dang.
This is interesting.
We have 19 choices. We would have had 20 if you hadn't seen Nausicaa.
I will say, Ethan, I'm really impressed with your list.
That is a good list. That is a very good list.
I'm both impressed and also saddened because, yes, you've picked 5 good movies. You also haven't seen these 5 good movies.
That's also true.
So I do want to say this, and I probably should say this to the end, but like I heard a thing where somebody was talking, because I've been like this, where you mention a movie or you mention something and they say, I haven't seen this. And you're like, oh, you haven't seen that? How haven't you seen that? Like that doesn't. And instead, this person was talking about what the better way to go about this is to be like, oh, that means you get to watch this and have never seen it before, and you get to see it with new eyes. Like that is actually an amazing thing.
It's
like the fact that you get to watch.
It goes from shaming them to like being able to express
like
the joy of being able to do
the 5 movies
that
are on your list. Like the fact that you would get to experience any of these without having actually watched the movie is quite amazing.
It's kind of the same feeling that like I think you guys had when I said I've never seen Psycho, and we all watched Psycho up here.
I've tried. I don't always succeed, and everything that I say about Ethan not knowing anything and being a baby is tongue in cheek, of course.
What am I again?
I'm not doing it.
We have to now. So here's a word of Bible.
There we go.
There.
So yeah, like these are all like your list is very good. Again, it's playing.
Not to take away from him. These are 4 great lists.
Yes,
These are absolutely 4 great lists.
We are very good at this. It is very interesting because like I said, I was going back and forth between Uncut Gems and Good Time. Because they both do similar things. They're just anxiety on film, both of them, and it's this character making horrible choice after horrible choice, and it's also 2 actors that actually have really good acting chops that don't oftentimes get the get the love that they deserve when it comes to that.
I heard they paused Uncut Gems to make Good Time.
Maybe I think
because they wanted to work. That's with what's his name, right?
Maybe they were in like pre-production or something. That's with Robert Pattinson.
Yeah. They put Uncut Gems on pause because he wanted to be in a movie, and they wanted to have a movie for him.
Okay.
So they paused production on something to make
which is really weird because like there's a market like Good Time is very grimy, and Uncut Gems feels more polished. So that's weird. I'll have to research that.
It's something.
Because the Safdie brothers are very interesting.
One of those.
But I went with you. I was like, I was waffling between those two. I think I like Good Time a little bit better, but I was like, Ethan, the Ethans would like Uncut Gems better. So it's interesting that you put that on there.
And then you said, "Fuck it, The Big Lebowski."
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Which I will say, movies on y'all's list, there are movies that I have heard of, like Die Hard, of course, Dead Poet Society, Phantom of the Paradise, Reanimator, mainly from
you've heard that directly from me.
All
Phantom of the Paradise
movies.
is not mostly all.
all The Big Lebowski, Casablanca. I've heard the term Hell or High Water, but I didn't know it was a movie.
Yeah, Hell or High Water is actually written by the guy who's the showrunner of Yellowstone, Taylor Sheridan.
Oh, that's cool.
That's a show I want to watch.
Yeah, it's a very
that's
popular,
a whole other subject.
Yeah. He also he had like a neo-western trilogy, loosely based. He also did Wind River and Sicario.
When you said you wanted to put a western, I thought you were going to put The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Or
Dirty Harry.
I really
That's
think
a good one.
Dirty Harry.
Dirty Harry is not a western, but yeah.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah,
that tells you how
it's
much
a
I don't
crime.
know.
They're both Clint Eastwood movies.
Yeah, it's a
That is
crime
true.
thing. But yeah, I can see that. But yeah, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, I think you should watch. But I was like, let's get something to kind of ease you into that, because The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is kind of a long movie, and you kind of have to work your way. Like, because sometimes spaghetti westerns are weird because
very.
There can be a lot of like inaction in them.
How are we gonna do this?
Yeah, I don't fucking know.
Well, let me go ahead and give the ticket away, so that way, in case they want to, in case the person wants to use it immediately, it can possibly help. I think I want to give it to Jody.
Oh,
Jody, you have a ticket. Are you using it now, or are you going to save it?
What does the ticket do again?
Okay, this guarantees a spot in the top 5. Maybe
Okay.
not the number one, but it is.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Without debate, boom, it's in there. And
Okay.
again, like I said, I look at this list. I have no vehement disagreement. Like, I think obviously mine I think should be on the list more so because I picked them.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna fight to a bloody death for anything being on here.
Yeah,
I'm gonna wait.
I will say, like,
All right.
I tried to think about documentaries, like it crossed my mind, but like nothing really came to mind. I knew you were going to put Dear Zachary, because I was trying to figure out what you two would put and not put something like
top 2 was just a matter of put pen to paper and it was done.
For me, like Casablanca was the one that really shot out. Like when it came to mine, Old Boy almost got that, but I didn't want to be.
It's an interesting thing, just in case this is a thought process going on in people's heads. Like, my list is not my top 5 movies of all time.
No.
I think
neither is mine.
I think it's a very cool mental exercise to work amongst your friends of like, you know them, you know a good bit about them. Where would you like them to go next? Or where would you like them to go back to something that they never realized that they may have liked or had some opinion on? Or and if they didn't like it, you know, how does that affect your conversations with them and things like that? So that's what I liked about when this idea came up was the fact that we get to temper what we love with what we think other people would think would be good and palatable.
Yeah, because that's kind of like I went kind of super broad. Like, these are movies that I would like other people to see.
Yeah.
Like, and then it was like,
and then tailor it further down.
Okay,
to
let's get it down to smaller thing. Just what would you like immediately like recommend to somebody? And then like, okay, does this work for? Do you think this works for Ethan or it doesn't work? This actually it was good. Like, I racked my brain on some of these, but like,
okay, let's take a genre approach and let's talk about the most visceral genre, which is horror. We have Alien, Reanimator. Would you call Phantom of the Paradise horror, or is it more like opera comedy?
It's a it's a musical with themes of horror in it. So
Okay.
I would not consider it
Basically,
a horror
I wanna
movie.
say, and actually, I don't want to say basically. I apologize, but it's a rock and roll, the Phantom of the Opera.
It's Faust.
Oh, it's Faust.
It's
Okay.
Faust. That's where the horror element comes from.
Okay.
It's Faust.
Okay, so we'll say that's in the periphery, but definitely Dead Alive Beyond, I believe, also as well.
The Beyond is a zombie
The
film.
zombie film, yeah.
Okay.
A
We've
really
got-
good one, too.
On mine, we've got Night of the Creeps. I don't think we have. Would you
No,
call Memories of
No,
a Murder
Memories of-
is a police procedural? isn't
No,
it, really?
there's like tension and it's kind of a thriller ish,
Okay.
but like it's mostly. I don't want to say procedural because the like it's not a horror. It's not
Okay.
a horror. Definitely.
Okay.
I to be honest, like horror didn't pop into my head really as much, and I think some of it was because I knew Jody was going to put a decent amount of horror one.
That's another thing at play at this.
Right.
But,
that's another reason why. I
Yeah,
didn't
that was
pick
also
any
like I was
Kurosawa
trying
films.
not to. Yeah, we
Right.
canceled
Yeah,
each other
yeah,
out with that.
yeah.
But I have a lot of Kurosawa on my
Right.
short list.
Yeah, I thought about Yojimbo actually, but
Yojimbo was up there. I
and
think that's an easy-
Hausu for Japanese horror, but I didn't.
Okay.
Um,
I
Strangely
almost
enough,
thought about
for
that
me,
one for
it
you.
was it's the Hidden Fortress, right?
The Hidden
Did-
Fortress.
Because that's mostly the basis of Star
Throne
Wars.
of
Yeah.
Blood, I think, is my favorite of the Shakespearean Kurosawa films.
Absolutely.
I need to watch Ron.
Ron is so good.
I need to watch Ron.
So for me, like on my own list, I think like Dead Alive and The Beyond, they're both zombie films, but I think Dead Alive is a little bit more accessible because it's comedy with horror, but the horror is pretty horrific in some points.
I respect Fulci.
Mm-hmm.
His zombie movies aren't fun, and I get it.
Right.
Because if you were in an apocalypse, you wouldn't be having fun.
No, his zombie movies are dark and depressing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Very. But I will say that The Beyond is the most fun of his zombie movies.
That's fair. That's
not
fair.
trying to
No,
put it on there.
No, that's fair.
City of the Living Dead is the most depressing.
Yeah,
but
like, and I can't say for my list, I've got Dear Zachary on there. That's not fun.
right.
It's poignant and exceptional. Fun don't come into the mix. I say Dead Alive should go on the list. I think Dead Alive, it's because it is so out there, and I don't mean like crazy, though it is crazy, but I mean it is so like in your face, like it hits comedy, raps to horror, and then goes back to comedy.
And I think not in a slapstick way, but Reanimator also has a lot of comedy in it, but it's a little bit darker tone.
It also does something interesting in that I am certain. Actually, I'm not 100% certain that Ethan has watched the Lord of the Rings movies, right?
I've seen the Lord of the Rings.
Okay. I'm sorry. That's what I get for assuming. But this is something that director has done, and Peter Jackson is an incredibly famous director, and I'm certain that
this is where he comes from.
Yeah, this is what he started as. This is like what he wanted to get into doing.
He did Bad Taste. He did this. He did.
Did he do Meet the Feebles?
He did do Meet the Feebles was actually his first movie.
Is that the first one?
Okay.
And then he did Bad Taste. Then he did Dead Alive, The Frighteners, and then Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm. So this is something that is markedly different than what he is known for. Because today, like, you got the Lord of the Rings, the Hobbit stuff, and King Kong, and
Did he do King Kong?
He did.
he did. Yeah,
The first remake.
The first remake.
Gotcha. The one,
It
The
was
one
Jack
that's like
Black.
3 hours long with Jack Black.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
we
not good.
touched on it more than just briefly with Mad World. Again, once you get over a certain point, no movie can hold. Like it just
Yeah.
get like a 5 hour cut of a comedy. No, you can't. You have to maintain comedy 5 hours straight. Like monster movie, you have to maintain the awe of that monster for 3 hours. He fails.
Yeah.
But it's not because he failed. Put any director in that. You can put name your favorite greatest director. They're not going to be able to make it within 3 hours, in my opinion.
Yeah, that was an indulgent thing, but which I guess I don't know, but that like I said, that does do an interesting thing in that it showcases a very famous, well-known director, something that most people aren't
Don't
familiar
know
about.
That, yeah, I'm okay with Dead Alive being
Are
on.
we saying Dead Alive goes on?
I like that.
All right, there we go. He likes
Dead
it.
I will
Alive.
not fight that.
It's on the list, not numbered currently. All right.
I have to be honest. When you said Dead Alive, I was like, wait, are you talking about Dead or Alive, the video game?
No, it is definitely not. It's known as Brain Dead in the United States because I think there was another property.
There's
that was
another
called Dead or
film
Alive.
called no. There was another film called Brain Dead. That's why they had to call it Dead or Alive in America.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I believe so.
Okay.
It's the other way around then.
Yeah, it's Brain Dead in New Zealand.
I'd like to talk for a moment about Bruce Willis. We have The Fifth Element and Die Hard. These are at the peak of Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Peak Bruce Willis, to me, arguably, is the best action star that ever lived. Like peak, like number one, like top
can see
tier,
that argument.
top tier. Like Die Hard's 1 and 2. The Fifth Element is on here too. There's another one. 12 Monkeys, less action, but there's
Yeah.
still
I
some action
love that
elements
movie,
to it.
though.
Yeah, like out of respect to the men, we have these two very good examples of it. I would like to consider one or the other on the list.
The Fifth Element is one of those movies that I've loved for a very long time. I think it's an older movie where the CGI actually mostly holds up, and the worlds that it creates is great. It's really hard.
And a quick shout out to,
But it's also but it's arguing against
quick shout out to
Die Hard.
Quick shout out to two Frenchmen on this one, Luc Besson and Mobius. Because Mobius' design and art style is all over this thing, and Luc Besson's direction is all over this.
Shit, I didn't put the professional on my short
Yeah, we talked
list.
about that's a good one. That's a good one.
I didn't even think about that. That's a worse sin because until you mentioned that, I didn't even think that in my brain.
I didn't mention it. I didn't think about it either. I didn't put the Fifth Element on here for some reason.
They both have Gary Oldman in them. So
If we have to compare The Fifth Element and Die Hard, I think I'd kind of watch Die Hard more, mainly because I know of it.
It's
a lot
really
more
hard to
than-
fucking argue
than the
against Die
Fifth
Hard.
Element.
It's like,
I'm gonna use my ticket.
Yes.
Oh,
We're putting the Fifth Element on
Fifth
there.
Element's on the list.
okay, there
Okay.
we go. That saves the conversation.
okay.
No, it doesn't. Let's put Die Hard 2. Let's get Die Hard on the list too.
I don't
Let's get back to Die Hard.
Let's
Back to the mic. Let's get back to Die Hard. Arguably the greatest action movie of all time. The Christmas
up
thing.
there.
I call it a Christmas movie. Other people don't. That is fine. But
that's the
arguably, this is the best action
See,
movie.
that's the thing with Die Hard. I always hear people say this is Die Hard, like jokingly or non-jokingly.
most
Die
people
Hard is
say
the
it
best
tongue in
Christmas
cheek
movie.
because it just takes place during.
Yeah.
Christmas,
You know, there's a
but-
movie on the list that also is an action movie and it has a lot of dialogue called Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
See,
And-
I don't consider that an action movie.
Yeah, Pulp Fiction is hard to place.
I think
Right.
I think of it. No, I think of it as a noir thriller. I legitimately do, especially with that dialogue.
to me it's like super hard to place.
All I know is that Samuel L. Jackson just yells at someone.
Yes.
And-
Well, that's most Samuel L. Jackson movies.
Yeah.
That's every.
Except the Star Wars movies.
Yeah. That's almost every Tarantino
Jesus,
movie that he's in.
Imagine if George Lucas allowed Samuel L. Jackson to be Samuel L. Jackson.
They'd all be rated R.
How do you think Samuel L. Jackson got a purple lightsaber?
Exactly.
Yeah.
with BMF stenciled on it.
Yeah.
Jay can barely read part of your list. Go over your top 5 again.
Yeah, my top 5, we'll go from top to bottom. It's again Dead Poets Society. Number 2, Dear Zachary, a letter to a son about his father. Number 3, Die Hard. Number 4, Night of the Creeps. Number 5, It's a Mad
Okay.
World.
Gotcha.
If there's anything besides the golden tickets on my list, I think I'd kind of want to watch Uncut Gems because it's one of those movies that people weren't expecting from Adam Sandler, and I know it's in my top 2 list. It's my number 2
I
on
get
my
that.
list, but it's
We've had gory, and maybe we need to have a little gritty. Like gritty, like Uncut Gems to me is very like modern urban gritty, but
Yeah.
you got Hell or High Water.
Hell or High
definitely
Water
gets
is
there.
gritty.
I'm looking over here. What we got here?
You could be argued Pulp Fiction is gritty.
Pulp Fiction. Yeah. Not as gritty as Reservoir Dogs, but
No,
yeah, certainly
no,
on the
no.
certainly in that
that neighborhood.
Reservoir Dogs sounds
Mad World takes place in a desert, so there's a lot of grit.
That's
there.
the one
That's
that
another
comes
Tarantino
before
movie. You've seen
Pulp
like it's
Fiction.
like the 4 or 5 guys walking in suits.
That's before Pulp Fiction.
That's it. Yeah, that's his first movie.
Yeah, that was the movie that allowed him to make Pulp Fiction.
Mr. Pink, Mr. Blonde.
No, but it's
Stuck
John
in the
Glenn.
middle.
If you saw like the shot of them all walking out of the restaurant in like sunglasses and suits, you would be like, okay, I've seen that part at least.
Harvey Keitel too, right?
Harvey Keitel.
Harvey Keitel.
Yeah,
Tim Roth.
I'm looking up the picture.
Fuck, what's the other guy who's always in the Tarantino movies?
Buscemi's in it.
Buscemi,
Steve Buscemi.
Steve Buscemi, but what? Mr. Blonde. Fuck, what's his name?
Michael.
Shit.
Madsen.
Michael Madsen.
Michael Madsen.
Mhm.
Yeah. You saved us an email, Jay.
Maybe they might email us that why did it take that long to do
Yes.
that?
And also Quentin Tarantino is in Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah.
Much like he is in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, it doesn't look familiar.
Okay.
Jesus. This isn't the first one of these we're going to probably do.
Yeah, it was weird that I went outside the box with my thinking of Tarantino. And
you guys explained why we don't have the crossovers because, like you said, I knew that Jody would have the horror, so you eschewed from horror, so that that way there's not going to be as many horror crossovers. I'm not saying that to it's like you are convicted and service to 10 years. You know, no,
I didn't think about it
No.
for long, actually. My list took all of like 5 minutes because.
Well, Phantom of the Paradise is just running in your goddamn head at all times.
that was an automatic one.
that one in Reanimator, actually.
But
Anyway.
I like the second Reanimator much better. Than
Bride
the
of
first.
Better.
Yeah, I like.
It is
that
a better
one.
movie in a
I
lot
like
of
that
ways.
one much more than Reanimator.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate Reanimator, but I like the second one a whole lot better. I feel like I need to fight for something of mine. I really want to.
I'll fight for something of yours right now. It's comedy, so it takes care of a good bit of the list. It is that middle stage of director, like it's after Spielberg, but it's before like the big Jackson stuff, the Christopher Nolan stuff like that, and it's a group of two directors that one has retired but one is still going on that has produced quality entertainment. That you need to see a Coen Brothers movie. If it's not Oh Brother Where Art Thou, it's not even Blood Simple, which Blood Simple, like we want to talk about like hardcore shit.
I went through. I have so many.
But,
like I had Miller's Crossing. I think everybody should watch No Country for Old Men, but I realize that's a little bit of a polarizing.
Raising Arizona is pretty
one.
good.
Jeff Bridges won his Oscar for Tenderheart. He has done fantastic work throughout the years, but his iconic role is the Big Lebowski.
Yeah, that's the one.
I'm
I
not
was going for.
Lebowski. I'm the dude, man.
There's so many like the lines that are in the cultural zeitgeist are so much, but it is such a good one. And again, it also does the noir thing. I think that noir is a neo noir, of course, with this, but like they need to watch something in that genre.
I would not mind the Big Lebowski.
It's in then.
Yeah.
Unless anybody wants to
I don't
break a
have
knife
any.
out.
No, I don't have any arguments for that.
Okay. So I got one in, so that's good.
What do we have so far?
We have Dead Alive, The Fifth Element, The Big Lebowski.
I feel like
3.
I feel like I want to put something on from Jay's list. in the
Okay,
top
cool.
5.
Die Hard.
To me,
I like how you're fighting harder for Die Hard, which is your number 3, than your 1 or 2.
I can give you a somber reason for that. Dear Zachary, you have to want to watch it.
Yeah.
And I can't sell it to you because if I give you any drop of information about that movie, to me it spoils the entire
It's one
movie.
of those. It's in that list of movies that I call soul draining movies. And I thought about trying to get one of those on here, but I didn't want my list to be too much of a downer.
But and it's not that and it's not that I don't want down movies on here.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
if Grave had made it, I would be arguing for Grave of the Fireflies right now. I would be because I think, and to me that's more accessible than Dear Zachary to more people because of the animated nature of it and how it touches on history as well. Getting off of a movie that isn't on lists and going there, but that's the reason why I'm not pushing for Dear Zachary. I'll say this on a top 5 movies everyone should watch. That is probably not my number 1.
Yeah.
Period. Because everyone needs to see that story. Everyone does, in my opinion. As far as my number 1, Dead Poet Society, again, it's in my top 5 all-time list.
Yeah.
but that is a very personal movie for me
Mm-hmm.
and for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not something, again, because it's personal for me, I don't necessarily want to force that on someone. If I were to pick 5 movies that I think everybody should watch, or rather that Ethan should watch, I think the themes that are touched on in Dead Poets Society match up because of my love for the movie, my respect for my favorite performer of all time, Robin Williams.
It's also an actor's movie as well. Like the acting
I will agree with what Jay's saying. Robin Williams is also my all-time favorite actor. I absolutely love everything that he's done. Bicentennial Man.
He's not my favorite actor, and this is going to be a weird parsing. My favorite actor of all time is Tom Hanks.
Okay.
My favorite performer of all time, because Williams wasn't just someone on film. He also was trained at stage. He was trained at Juilliard alongside Christopher Reeve. He was one of the best stand-up comedians, I feel, in the world as a talk show guest, which to me is a completely different skill set. Anytime he would be on there, you wouldn't know what would happen, but you knew you'd be entertained. So that's the reason why, like I say, performer. Hanks is a better actor.
Gotcha.
Okay.
But to me, he is my favorite.
No,
Bicentennial
that's
Man.
cool. That's cool. That's an underrated movie. That really is. But again, I have a love for him. So
like I even loved him as Teddy Roosevelt in the Night at the Museum movies.
Yeah.
The ensemble cast also that's in Dead Poet Society of young actors, some of which would go on to do other things, some of which not so much. Amazing performances by every single person in that film.
Dead Poet Society I really enjoy, but especially when on my list of like Robin Williams movies, it's not super far down the list, but it's a little bit further down. I'm partial to...
it's a drama.
This is just a question to Brady, and something that I'm just curious about because of interests that another friend of mine has. What do you think of The Fisher King, or have you ever seen The Fisher King?
I've heard of The Fisher King.
Okay,
I've never watched it.
A friend who will remain nameless, not because of any kind of spite or malice. It's just we had a very heated discussion about this, and it was back when we were younger men, and he hates Dead Poet Society, loves The Fisher King. Like, despises Dead Poet Society. So I'm just kind of curious if that might be a corollary, like where people like Fisher King more than... It's just something, again, that was more of a personal question. Just kind of like,
I can see an argument for it being a little... Forgive me, Jared, because I know that's like one of his favorite, if not his favorite movies. I can see the argument for it being a little schmaltzy, but I don't think that. But I can see the argument for that. I have not watched The Fisher King. That's probably one that I really need to watch.
It's good. But it's a lot like Moscow on the Hudson, and like it's not the best performance that you're gonna,
it bombed. Arguably for me, like Dead Poets is like the best thing he ever did. I think he was exceptional in The Fisher King. It's just that movie doesn't hit me.
The movie's mediocre, compared to most of the other ones.
And I know some people don't like the movie, but I'm partial to What Dreams May Come.
That's a really good one. I like it.
Honestly,
personally.
like art wise, that is a fantastic, like the cinema, not cinematography, but the effects work in that is exceptional.
And then of course I really like him in Good Will Hunting, but
of course.
But again, those aren't movies that are on this list.
Die Hard.
Are you just gonna bully us into putting Die Hard on here?
No, you guys can stop this if you want.
I will say this. As much as I love, out of Jay's list, I would say Die Hard or Dead Poet Society. But I know at some point I will willingly watch Dead Poet Society on my own terms, but I probably won't do the same with Die Hard.
I would think the reverse of that would be more likely.
That's actually very interesting that you said that.
So you were saying you would seek. I think this is the refinement. You would seek out Dead Poet Society more so than you would see Die Hard. Like, you're more likely to see Die Hard on cable than you are to see Dead Poet Society. But if you were
streaming, to be honest with you,
if you were looking for a movie, you would be looking for Dead Poets before you'd be looking for Die Hard.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So what does that mean for our discussion here?
Fuck if I know.
I'm pushing Die Hard to the end. Die Hard, ride hard, Die Hard.
I'm gonna accept it if we get to put A Good Day to Die Hard on here.
I will agree with Jay and want to put Die Hard on.
I considered it. Live Free or Die Hard is better than people give it credit for, but You can't.
Which is the one where he knocks a helicopter out of the sky with a fucking car.
And
That's Live Free or Die Hard.
And Justin Long's like, why did you do that? And Bruce Willis goes, because I ran out of bullets.
Jesus Christ.
No, that movie's fun. If you go into that thinking fun movie, the man takes on a Harrier jet with an 18-wheeler. That's the worst one. Like, if you're gonna bring up the bad part about that, bring that part in there.
What?
It completely, the whole point.
After 3, it just went off the rails.
The whole point of Die Hard is that it's a regular schlub against the odds. Like,
that's the first 2 movies, and then somewhere in between, he became impervious
between
to
3
everything.
and 4, it went fucking nuts.
They replaced all of his bones with Invincible, and it's like you're never
like
worried
the
about
alternate
it.
ending for Die Hard with a Vengeance was like he spun like a rocket launcher or something. Like they played like spin the bottle with a rocket launcher, basically.
Notice that's the 3rd movie, and I was just focusing it on the.
Well, that's why I was using that as a like, but that was an alternate. They were like, no, we got to calm down with this shit.
They had like an extra 3 hours worth of tape, and so there's like.
I could be wrong with that. I'm certain that Kevin will correct us.
I'm expecting some kind of email from not Kevin Gallo.
Kevin, the remote ombudsman Gallo.
Yeah, Kevin, now you stuck your nose in our business. Now we're forcing you to have to talk to us every fucking week. We want 500 words by next Wednesday, motherfucker.
For some reason, deep in my soul, I feel like
He's stroking. Fucking. Were you about to do the silencer cell phone plug?
The lists are too
good. Oh God!
No.
Get him to the stroke center.
Jesus Christ.
Jody and Kevin, I feel like they're going to send an email instead of Kevin Gallo. So
there you go.
Yeah, we did
Finally
talk quite a bit
out.
about.
I'll put
Dead
it like
Poet
this:
Society,
if we don't put Dead Poet Society on there, even though it's my number 1, Jarrett's going to fucking send a letter.
Yeah.
He's going to send several nasty grams.
I don't.
He's already mad at me that I'm defending my number 3 over Dead Poet Society.
Definitely.
Yeah. I personally like. If we're voting for between those 2 movies, I'm going to vote for Dead Poet Society over Die Hard. I'm sorry.
Damn. Somehow we got to where we're choosing between these 2 movies. Fuck.
and we still have a 5th one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
We already got the 5th one. Ha ha ha.
Let me see.
Not that it's going to end up in 5th. It just has the 5th in it.
I vote. I don't know. How did we get to where we're choosing between those 2 movies?
Because Jay keeps screaming Die Hard.
No, stop.
Yeah.
He said we should get something from Jay's list. And so then I
That's
immediately
fair enough.
interjected Die Hard.
That's
Both of
why.
these are on my list.
That's true. That's true.
I'll tell you what. I vote for neither of them. Neither of them will go on the list.
All right, well.
Okay,
how about that weird shit?
Now that he's out, well, we can do majority rules.
Now that he's out, I vote Die Hard.
I said Die Hard.
Okay, majority wins.
Die Hard.
Die Hard.
Put Die Hard on there. We have 2 Bruce Willis movies.
Fuck Dead Poet Society. I'm kidding. I love that movie.
You can, Jared, you can email Jody at travelersontheomnibus@gmail.com.
No deal. I love that movie, actually. All right, so we've got one more spot here.
Casablanca. And not just because like we've got all the number 1s on the list except for Pulp Fiction, but Casablanca, like noir, but not with that dark kind of tinge to it. You have one of the greatest American actors, like properly American actors of all time, in Humphrey Bogart.
The chemistry of everybody in that movie. Pair off any 2 actors in that movie, and the chemistry is palpable.
I don't think there is, with the argument can be made Pulp Fiction. I don't think there is a movie that was more lightning in a bottle than Casablanca. Everything everyone Ingrid Bergman.
Yeah.
Ingrid Bergman, like the whole cast.
Also, I mean, like, if you're comparing Pulp Fiction to anything, we already have a movie that's less violent and still has the same kind of weirdness to it on the list already. Like, Lebowski has a little bit of the weirdness that, in a different way, of course.
Yeah.
They're both crime noir-ish, in some ways.
Also say this, dialogue-wise. I don't think you have Pulp Fiction. I don't think you have, like, good dialogue movies without a movie like Casablanca, at least in the American.
Oh, yeah.
Also,
American form.
Casablanca was a movie set in World War II, shitting on the Nazis, made during World War II. Like, there is something to be said about that. Like, it shits on the Nazis to their face.
Yeah. Big middle finger to the
Hitler
Nazis.
could have watched this goddamn movie.
That's true. That might have been why he killed himself.
Yeah.
No, he killed himself because the Russians were knocking on his door.
That is, yes.
Of his bunker.
100%. Yes.
He died in a ditch on fire, and I find that funny.
Covered in petrol on fire.
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
that's funny.
Eddie Izzard.
Yep.
All right. So, yeah, Casablanca. Let's go.
I'm
Let's go.
not going to argue. It's my fucking number one.
Let's go.
Argue a little bit, just for the meme.
Yeah, yeah. We need some foreign shit on here. Memories of Murder. Fuck, I don't know.
Casablanca. That's Italian for Casablanca.
Yes.
I will say American pop is generational.
Hang on.
What's up?
I have CAS on the board, and he tells me to stop.
Okay.
What we got?
What's up?
I want to make an argument, but I can't really think of something.
What's the movie you want to argue for?
Do you just want to make an argument to make an argument?
Hold on.
No.
Please understand, and also it's set against the backdrop that whatever you are picking in this fighter game list of movies, it's going up against Casablanca.
Yeah.
What's the movie?
Yeah. There's a couple on there who could go
something-
against it.
What's the movie? I'm curious.
Uncut Gems. It's
Uncut Gems versus Casablanca.
see to me.
See, I
That
had
is different spectrums.
I had a feeling that you'd at least react not negatively in kind of a more quizzical way on that, Brady. So I'm glad that at least we got that out in the open. So, no, Ethan, go for
The
it.
thing when it comes to Uncut Gems, I grew up knowing Adam Sandler as the big comedy guy, Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore. He's somewhat slightly more serious role in Big Daddy, Mr. Deeds, the god awful Jack and Jill movie. But to me, wanting to see a legit serious Adam Sandler movie and see what he could do, it piques my interest. Now, I know this is it's a list of top 5 movies I need to watch, and a lot of people, you guys are holding Casablanca to a good standard.
Let me make a
Now-
lazy response to what you're saying. Just because that's how I feel right now. Uncut Gems is a good movie. It's really good. Uncut Gems is also a movie that came out like a year ago,
I think it was
Couple of years ago.
2019.
It was pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID.
So it was 2019.
and it's on Netflix right now. Right, like you could even open Netflix and it'll be on your home screen. Like it's like top 10 movies this week. Uncut Gems right there. You could watch it anytime you wanted to.
The first part of your argument, I'm with. The second part, because the way streaming works, some streaming service somewhere has Casablanca on it.
I want to hat.
I was still talking.
sorry, I'm
but
sorry.
No,
I
it's
apologize.
fine. No. I mean,
No.
I was trying to, shit on what Jay was doing before I had
okay.
a chance. That was point 1 of my argument.
Oh, okay.
Point 2 of my argument is that Casablanca is way better than Uncut Gems. My personal opinion.
When comparing them, it's really difficult.
Comparing a lot of these movies to themselves.
It was like
is
when we
really,
were comparing Fifth Element to Die Hard. It's like really,
It's
really
not-
difficult
it's
with some of these
apples
like, gigantic.
to watermelon.
I want to ask a question.
Okay.
Ethan, when we went to put Casablanca on, and be honest about this, and I'm not going to shit on you for this. When we went to put Casablanca on this list, because when we were arguing anything, you didn't say anything. Did you have a visceral negative visceral reaction to Casablanca being come on?
Not a negative reaction. It's like,
By negative I mean like you felt like that wasn't something that you necessarily really wanted to see, or that you felt it didn't belong on the list, or something like that.
It was a reaction of, I honestly was not expecting it. Like, of course I could say all of y'all's list was, I didn't expect that to be on the list. But
yeah.
like, Casablanca, what was it? You said it was made in World War II era.
Yeah, I'll have to look up it was like right at World War II.
You couldn't have expected some of those, especially the ones I put up there. But you probably expected me to put some wacky shit up there.
Yeah.
Right? That's what you mean.
I wasn't expecting to say I was expecting a somewhat serious movie would be hypocritical with me putting Uncut Gems.
Casablanca was released in 1942.
Yeah.
So
at the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah.
The beginning of the Americans getting involved.
Yeah, exactly. Like that one's insane to me. Like I just realized that fact now. Like Brady kind of encapsulated that very well.
That's one of the things that I've always one of the ideas that I've always
for me, Uncut Gems is his second best dramatic work. Punch Drunk Love is better.
I don't love Punch Drunk Love, but I either really, really love. Oh man, I didn't even put. What would I put from Paul Thomas Anderson? Possibly Boogie Nights. I think you would like
Boogie Nights is really good.
And I don't know
Boogie Nights you would like.
I don't know if this is like the selfishness of me saying, "Hey, I want my movie on there besides anyone else's." Or something.
That can play a legitimate part of it. Like it's something you have an interest in. So
all of these. It's never like that's. I always take that into account with this. I mean, I've argued for every movie on my list pretty much.
I mean, we had a vote earlier if we want to do majority rules on Casablanca versus Hidden.
Well, I think it's obvious how that's going to go.
Well, Casablanca gets 3 votes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It comes down to
it's either that or
I'll be honest. I'm not going to be super mad with either of those going on the list, because they're both great movies that I think are very good for Ethan to watch.
Okay. To help us in this situation.
Ethan, give me $5 and I'll change my.
No. Going back to an argument I made earlier, if I had an option of Uncut Gems and Casablanca, I would be more willing to watch Uncut Gems than Casablanca.
And that's the reason why you should watch Casablanca.
So I will,
because you're more willing to watch Uncut Gems, which means you're more willing to watch it on your own.
So I will agree with y'all with putting Casablanca in the top 5 that I need to watch.
Yeah.
That's the point I was trying to make earlier when you were saying the one you would seek out versus the other one.
This is getting, because this I think gets you a little bit out of it, because this is, I really think we needed a black and white movie on here. Like,
yeah, I'd have to agree.
Now, I believe that's the only one on here, but that's neither here nor there.
We didn't have too many on the whole.
So I'm seriously surprised that 2001 is not a, like, the story of it is not super, super strong. It's more about like the vibes and
the aesthetics of everything.
I think that's what, like, Dead or Alive takes the zombie stuff and just like it throws it into like a 150 mile per hour blender, literally. The Fifth Element is Luc Besson. You're taking French aesthetics, like in high fantasy French aesthetic,
high fantasy, high fashion,
and putting it into an action movie.
Yes,
yeah.
The Big Lebowski, you're taking, like you said, you're taking the noir movie and making the protagonist like not driven at all, like he's kind of slothful. So how does that work? And it works out perfectly.
Well, the whole bit with the him tracing over tracing over like the pad that the guy writes on.
Yeah,
like that whole bit is like turns everything on its head.
Casablanca, again, it's ballsy to fucking shit on the fucking Nazis in early 1940.
Yeah.
I'm just saying right there. Die Hard, I will say this again, this is the bridge between action movies where it's, the underdog versus an impossible scenario, which then transitioned into an impossible scenario approached by Superman. That's where it goes with Die Hard, and I think with a lot of action movies in that era, like Terminator 2, which I don't think, have you seen Terminator 2?
I was debating either putting Alien or Terminator.
Okay, fucking hell! I would have probably put one of those on.
Yeah, no.
Either one of those, either one of the first 2 Terminators. Those are the only 2 Terminators that matter.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I've never seen a Terminator movie.
God, fucking damn it! I would have put.
Next time, top 5 movie series that Ethan has to watch.
But with that one, it's only 2.
Like, if let me say this: if Terminator 2 were on here, I would have argued for that over Die Hard.
Because to me, Terminator 2 is probably my heart says something like The Matrix, but I can hear arguments against that. But like to me, Terminator 2 is like the greatest action movie of all time.
It's really good.
Also, I would have shot The Matrix.
Well, yeah, I didn't even think put that on there. I'm just saying, like, when it comes to action
can't shoot
movies,
the Matrix because they go. Woo.
Yeah, they can dodge
Bullet
bullets.
time.
Gentlemen, we have 5 movies. They are, again, Dead Alive, The Fifth Element, The Big Lebowski, Die Hard, and Casablanca.
I don't feel good about Dead Alive. I just don't. So process of elimination, what's the first one we want to, like, you know, put in the number 5 spot? And number 5?
For the exact same reason. Like if this is a list that is going to be tailored to the boy. Sorry for calling you that, but
Accepted this time.
if he, and it wasn't even a negative reaction, but it was definitely an action contra to having it on the list. Yes, he eventually should see it. And I think it's one of the top 5 things he should see because of what it meant for American cinema, what it means for the history of cinema, all these things. But it is also slower than everything else that is on this list.
Very much so.
It is the one that made it on this list, I think, 100% because of its prestige and its quality, and not because of its being tailored to Ethan.
To me, I feel like that argument means that it should be at least a little bit higher than 5, because there needs to be something that gets him a little bit out of his comfort zone. Okay. And I think that one can do it. Okay. And can also introduce him to movies of that similar time, of that quote unquote classic cinema.
Yeah, because did you have any apprehension of watching Psycho before you watched Psycho because it was a 60s movie?
Not really, because again, I've heard there are references of Psycho in like pop culture and media, the classic stabbing in the shower scene. I've seen that multiple times. I just never seen Psycho.
And not as much in your generation, but there was at one point, especially during the 80s and up until the early 90s, a lot of Casablanca in the zeitgeist at the time. Animaniacs.
Oh, yeah. It's
Warner Brothers.
Over everywhere.
I will make this argument. Because I was so haphazardly wanting Casablanca on the top 5 list, I feel like it should be 1. It's a movie I argued the most of it not wanting to be on the list, and with you guys highly wanting it on there against my suggestion of Uncut Gems, I feel like it should be a movie I need to watch. Like,
that's compelling,
immediately.
That's a compelling statement.
I like your debate skills there, Ethan.
Yeah, surprising us there.
Very, very surprising.
Let's table that very briefly.
Yeah,
very briefly.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Number 5,
or not even necessarily number 5. Like, what do we see here? Because we could just meme it and just say The Fifth Element is 5, and then it's 5-5. But I'm not. No, disregard that. So
I was not for the meme, because I honestly didn't even think about that, but quality and impact wise, I think The Fifth Element is a less important. It's a fun movie, and the world that it creates is great. I love it. Again, like it's really a movie that is near and dear to my heart. The effects are really good. Good mix of practical and CGI, and even for the time, I think that holds up very well. But it is like, quality and impact wise, I think it is a less important movie to watch, because you're gonna get some good stuff out of it, but it's not gonna be like life-changing cinema. You know, it's gonna be, you're gonna finish it and it's like, oh, that was really cool. I liked that, and then you're just gonna go about your day. That's my argument for The Fifth Element.
That's very sensible. I like it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'd have to agree with Brady on everything that he just said.
Yes, because my opinions are top shelf.
Mine is, of those 5, like Dead or Alive or The Fifth Element. Dead Alive. The Big Lebowski or The Fifth Element. The Big Lebowski. Die Hard, like, you know my for Die Hard, Fifth Element. Casablanca or The Fifth Element. Like, every other movie beats it out.
So I think it's set in stone. The Fifth Element is 5.
Thank you, memes.
Yeah.
So 5, the 5 element.
The 5th of the 5th.
It is now canon. Any movie with the 5 in the name is always the 5th best movie.
Sure.
It happened with the horror movie with the word
the real 5th element is Grey Goose. That's you do a fifth of Grey Goose, you're not going to be in any element.
I thought it was Mila Jovovich's ass.
That's what kept me watching Resident Evil.
She is not an attractive woman to me. I'm going to just leave that. Actually, that's too harsh. I am not attracted to her, I guess is the best way to put that.
I can see that. She has an aesthetic that I can see. And it is like I vacillate between being really attracted to her and not attracted at all, depending on the role and even like points in the role. So
right.
I can see that. I'm not going to like get upset about that.
Number 4.
Or 3 or 2 or 1.
Let's see.
I kind of like, from what you guys are saying, The Big Lebowski is kind of like a comedy-ish movie. It has comedy elements.
It is. You would find it in the comedy section, I believe.
We haven't even
But it is complicated.
We haven't John Goodman and how good he
John
is as Walter
Goodman,
Sobchak.
Steve Buscemi.
Nobody fuck with the Jesus.
Nobody fuck with the Jesus. John Turturro.
John Turturro.
I'm a sucker for comedy movies, I have to say.
Who is great in every everything that he's in, but definitely every Coen Brothers movie that he's in. God damn.
I would like The Big Lebowski in the one.
That's one of them, the few that I haven't watched.
Big Lebowski, tentatively 1 or 2.
Okay.
Because I think the room doesn't disagree with that.
I'd have to agree.
What can you put 2 of the 4 that are left? Can you put 2 movies over The Big Lebowski? 2. Don't mention them right now, but can you put 2 movies over The Big Lebowski? I don't think I can.
I don't think I can.
I'd have to agree.
Yeah. I think, to be honest, with this list, once we get to 1, because that's kind of the most important one. Once we get that in, the rest are just kind of fall
it does
in
dictate
line.
how we schedule.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think it kind of. So Big Lebowski is 1 or 2.
I will make another notion.
Go for it.
Die Hard at 4. I say this because the horror genre is not one of my favorite genres. I'm back to previous arguments. I'm more inclined to see an action movie than a horror movie. So if that means putting Dead Alive in number 3 above,
because this list is curated for Ethan.
But at the same time,
I see that logic.
I want you guys to also argue and not.
I don't want to finalize this, but I want everyone to see this in print.
Okay.
Dead Alive, Die Hard.
To me, that's very funny.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Someone, or probably Kevin, will have a shit fit.
Even better! More feedback! More passion! Someone give me, if you have a strong, legitimate argument why this doesn't work solely for the memes.
For some reason, like, this doesn't feel quite right, but I will say again, Dead or Alive does multiple things. It's a good horror. It's horror, and it also shows a side of a director that I know that he is not familiar with,
and a movie that you would be exposed to that you normally would not have been exposed to.
Yeah,
Die Hard's on television probably right now.
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, now we got it together. The Big Lebowski or Casablanca.
That's a rough one. That is a rough one.
I'm just curious. Just curious. This is a thought experiment. This is something for everybody at home to try if you would like to do this too. Your left hand is the Big Lebowski. Your right hand is Casablanca. Everybody look down. Do not look at anybody else. If you need to, close your eyes. On 3, raise the hand of the movie you want for number 1. I will say it again.
Which ones?
Okay, again, the Big Lebowski is to your left. Casablanca is your right. Big Lebowski is to your left. Casablanca is to your right. Passengers at home, unless you're driving, do this too. Close your eyes, look down.
Fuck it, do it if you're driving. I don't give a shit.
No, I do. Please do not close your eyes when you're driving. Also, don't put your hands behind your back while you're driving as well. Don't do this while you're driving. Oh, God, they've already wrecked. Oh, no. No, not again. again! Not again!
Passenger feedback is gonna be. It's gonna be.
Passenger feedback is gonna be lawsuits,
Yeah, it's gonna be a
motherfucker!
subpoena.
You caused us to crash. Once again, if you are in the comfort of your own home and not actively
or
driving
somebody's
a car,
home, other home. No judge.
if you get in some strange
break
other
into
side,
somebody else's home and do this experiment.
stop doing crimes. Don't do crimes. There's enough crimes.
It's just a little B&E. What the fuck?
It always starts as a B&E, and then they're mad that you're in their house, and then guns start coming out, and it's all gone to
Oh,
shit.
is breaking and entering the gateway crime?
Yeah, it's the gate. Yes, literally. It's literally the gateway crime. You have to cross over into it.
Oh,
Once
Jesus
again,
fucking Christ.
God damn it. I'm not cutting any of that because that's probably the best bit we've ever had on this fucking show. God damn.
It's a good bit.
All right, so your left hand is the Big Lebowski. Your right hand is Casablanca. On 3, raise the hand of the movie you would
hell.
pick as number 1.
I need like 10 more minutes to think about this.
No, this is an emotional response. So everybody, deep breath, exhale, and then 1, 2, 3. Open your eyes. We got 2 right. We got 2 left.
That's a tie.
So
That's interesting.
in the pre with this, we said that ultimately when it got down to the top 5, that we would at least eschew to the wishes of Ethan because these are the things that he would want to watch in there. It's 2-2, but the tiebreaker would have been with Casablanca. Does anyone have any final argument against that?
I'm not going to fight against fucking Casablanca.
I voted for Casablanca.
Yeah,
so-
exactly. So yeah, you wouldn't. No. So there we go. So ladies and gentlemen, Ethan, after I got him on the board, please read these out.
The ultimate list, the only list of the top 5 movies I need to watch. Number 5, The Fifth Element. Not just for the memes, but for other multiple reasons. Number 4, Die Hard. Number 3, Dead Alive. Number 2, The Big Lebowski. And number 1, Casablanca.
That was
Oh, man, I got 2 of mine in the top 2.
There you
Shit,
go,
I feel
yeah.
good about that.
There you go. Good job on that. Yeah. So there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, this list is incontrovertible, unarguable. It is set in stone for all time.
We do not care what you say, Kevin. We do not care what you
See, he
say
did
about
that
this.
one. He did that one.
This is the only list that matters.
Nate's coming for you.
I am gonna
Ethan.
take a picture of my quote unquote short list and give and send it to Ethan because
Also,
I
send
think
it to
this
me
is-
so I can get it on the gram.
I'm gonna put it in
Get on the
I'll put it in
Instagram.
the chat.
So yes, ladies and gentlemen, I forgot you're hosting, Ethan.
Yes.
Finish this shit off. Goddamn.
Yeah.
And also, next episode, Omnibus Theater of Casablanca.
Mm-hmm.
Jody, tell us about Silence Your Cell Phones.
Silence Your Cell Phones is a podcast with Kevin Shelton and Jared Hubbard,
There you go.
and they talk about movies, and they have YouTube, and they're on all the podcast channels, if that's what the kids are calling them.
Brady. What's Fearology, Brady?
What is fearology? I believe taking that by the different pieces of the word. Fear means to be scared or frightened of something, and ology is a suffix meaning the study of. So it's the study of things that scare you. So I believe that. Oh, you're talking about the podcast.
That's a pretty good description of
The podcast that
That
Jody-
actually was going great. Like
that Jody talks. That Jody does.
Jody talks about.
Yeah, he talks. He does
just
talk
talked
about
about
it
theology. He
quite a bit. It is becoming a problem. No, seriously. Our friend and co-host Jody Kite, sometimes going by JL Kite. We're breaking kayfabe here. Baby.
Yeah, 100%.
Does a podcast called Fearology where he talks about scary movies and all kinds of scary shit, and sometimes he releases some musical things that he does.
The new episode is up that's not musical.
Oh, what's this one about?
Soundscapes.
Soundscapes. It's
Oh, yeah, I
about
remember
the effect of musical scores and cues leading up to jump scares and how that affects people's psychology
Okay.
while watching horror.
That is a very interesting topic.
Real talk. I have not heard Volume 2 yet. Soundscapes is your best episode of Fearology. that
Oh,
I've heard
thank
yet.
you, man.
Oh,
Appreciate it.
Nice.
I think that was very well done, sir.
Thank you.
That's good. That's good. So yeah, check that out on all the places where you can listen to podcasts.
It's on Anchor and Spotify.
Anchor and Spotify.
I'm working on promoting more.
Check it out on those
and
two
getting
places.
it out a little bit further out.
So far, he is as.
Yeah. You need to get it on at least like Google Podcasts so I can listen to it because I don't have Spotify.
I'll work
Anchor
on that.
Is a bitch and a half to deal with.
It is.
Thank you, Anchor, for hosting this.
So
We don't have a sponsorship with Anchor.
Well, I've been thinking about doing ambassador ads to start out, just maybe gain a little bit of currency for the cast. And I don't think that part's going to help us.
Probably not.
Our good friends Jason Holder and
Hold
Michael.
up, buddy. I gotta tell you something
Oh,
real
you-
quick.
oh, you
Yeah.
tell us things.
Fearology Podcast is also available to message me directly on Twitter and Instagram. So if you want to,
Yeah, you got to let him get his socials in there.
yeah, just hit me up on those socials.
As the kids say.
Yeah.
Hit me up, DM me maybe.
No, not doing that.
Again, Jason Holder, Michael Hill, they have a show for some reason. Whiskey and Wrestling. They drink whiskey. They talk about wrestling, whether or not William Regal is dead. Maybe, who knows?
The Young Bucks gonna wrestle.
I'm glad I wasn't there for that part. 'cause
Young
that
Bucks
sounded so
wrestle
stupid.
Death Triangle for the 15th time.
I don't know. It didn't.
And we still have 20 more
The,
matches of
the
that.
fatigue on that match has not hit me yet.
Mm-hmm.
This is only
No,
been the third
I
one.
keep joking about it. It hasn't hit me yet. It's going to hit
Well,
me.
this
'cause,
the match tonight was like half as long as the one before, so at least they're mixing it up a little bit on the length of the match.
Yeah, but then they did weird things like half the fucking match, quote unquote match, wasn't even like you had to watch them 10 minutes on the outside before the match even started.
But yeah, listen to their opinions on the wrestling world. That is whiskey and wrestling.
Yes, they've been taking a little bit of a holiday break from Thanksgiving, but they will be back shortly.
Yeah.
Jay, tell us about McNub Gaming.
We would like to thank Greg Spanier, Cameron Spanier, and all the staff at McNard Gaming in Goshen, Mississippi for
Thank you,
providing us
Greg.
Thank you,
with
Greg.
this
Thank you,
wonderful
Greg.
studio space, which I'm actually standing up in, like on a stand-up mic, which is actually pretty cool. But yes, check them out. Board games, card games, what other RPGs,
yes.
miniatures. We might be starting hopefully here in December a Age of Sigmar escalation league. We're starting at 500 points and working our way up month for month in that. Also, I would like to plug Gulf Coast Hero Clicks, where two of my cousins, Nepotism, Lionel Clark and Joe Clark, play in, and also are big members of it. But if you ever thought about Hero Clicks and want to get into that, we have games every Wednesday, and I believe bigger events on Saturdays, but I'm not sure if we have one coming up on this Saturday or not. And of course, December 10th and 11th, it is NarbyCon 6, both here at the shop and at the Goshen Community Center. Come out for two straight days of gaming, or whenever they close the doors, which they're going to try to keep them open as long as they can. Come on 10 o'clock Saturday night, and you'll be playing Blood on the Clock Tower with me. So, sorry I ran you all the way with that last part, but there you go. That is McNarb Gaming in Goshen, Mississippi. They got puzzles and shit.
Yeah.
Also, plug Ronan Roosta, a.k.a. Kevin Gallo on YouTube, a.k.a. Kevin Gallo in real life. Every Tuesday, they Twitch stream either Cyberpunk Red or Pokemon or Poke Roll, the unofficial Pokemon role-playing game.
Good job, Jay. You saved us a bullet point on the next
Jarrett
essay.
Jarrett is running that, and think like one of the first times he's ever DM'd.
Oh.
Jarrett, please let me know if that is actually the truth. I did put it on my list, but I didn't fight for Dead Poet Society maybe as much as I should. But there you go.
As much as I like the plug for Kevin, I feel like we've talked about him way too much. He actually does.
Well, I mean, you brought him up several times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
legitimately brought him up one time.
It is mostly your fault.
Yeah.
I'll accept it.
Okay.
The only
That's
person
good.
more at fault for Kevin Gallo being mentioned on his podcast is his mom and dad.
Jesus Christ.
Because they birthed him.
That
Is next week going to be our wrap up for the year?
Next week is Casablanca,
next
sir.
week is Casablanca.
the week after.
But the week or maybe the second week after, we need to get a little bit more discussion in on that. But we're going to end the year with the Omnis, the Omnibus Awards, where we come up with the titles of it and just hand out arbitrary awards. We don't even have trophies yet, but we're going to see. So yeah, that's a little bit of a roadmap going forward. But yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty then.
Cool.
All right.
All right.
Cool. I'm Ethan Skinner.
I am. It says here I'm Brady Davis. So I guess that's true.
I'm Jody Kite.
I'm James McCarthy.
Good night. Love y'all, I think. Bye.
What?
Wait, that's not the love you. Hold on. Oh, the love you sound. There we go.
That's
Thank you.
it.
Thank you,
We love
everybody.
you so much.
We're right. It was a good list. Thank you.
Bye bye.